What's up, Don Bassatino? What happened to you? Greetings, everybody. Gonna get a coffee, huh? The beers were hitting you. You had a big day. Hello, everybody in YouTube land. You weren't. I wasn't shadow banned. I told you I'd feel better if I was shadow banned. It made me feel like I'm being persecuted. That's Bassatino Bass. Because Bassatino likes to stir the pot. And we got a lot to stir the pot with today, everybody. So tell your friends, tell your family, tell your lady boy, whoever, that we're going to have a really big shoe, to quote the Tangerine Man. This was supposed to be a interview with Michael Fazio, but he put me on timeout permanently. So I want to go into that a little bit once we get people in here. Hey, JC, how are you doing, buddy? Welcome back to the community. Oh, in spite of what you might think, I think we're glad that you're back. It's always good to have the more the merrier, especially people that have their own creative skills. Look at her over there feverishly typing away. Yeah, she doesn't even know she's on camera. Yes, what's up, JC? Yeah, how's Canada these days? It must be cold. Well, it's not cold here. It is brutally hot and humid. It was raining just a minute ago. That's right, Mick Fisher. And I'm going to explain about that because I think it's time somebody did. I'm going to give it a few minutes and then let everyone come in. It's still early in the States and Canada. Yeah, JC, we welcome you back to the fold. Seems like you've been off YouTube for a while. I was off YouTube for 2 years. I understand. This shit gets tiring, and then you get drawn back in for whatever reasons. And there is BT. Yeah. So we're going to talk about me being put on timeout permanently. Alberta, wow. That's good. That's good to hear. I'm going to tell you right now, JC, I think you can find somebody right there in your backyard. This whole business of going across the world with all the little scam artists that exist, it's not worth it. You can just meet people there locally and take it from there. So I think there has to be a real good reason not to, when you live in a cosmopolitan country, why to go somewhere else to find something. So I think it's good. That's right, it is. I mean, and I'm going to talk about that right now. This is what this show is going to be about. I'm going to give it about 2 more minutes because I had an astonishing experience today, and I want to get out in front of it, because I know that people will make shows against me, and I want to be the one that sets the record straight on what happened here with this permanent timeout from Michael Fazio. So Frank, if you're out there, give us a thumbs up. Barry, anybody that's from the community, you can call me Big W. Hey, John Blaze, how you doing? I just met Michael Fazio yesterday, and I got put on timeout today. I know all about John Blaze, and I guess I'm the only person other than John Blaze who publicly will defend Barry Jordan. I guess I'm very hated because I won't pile on to Barry. And in fact, in 2 weeks from now, I'm going to go to Malboal. I'm going to try to meet Barry and Cliff and all the other people involved to get the news from the horse's mouth myself. I kind of have this philosophy that Barry has never done anything to me, so I don't believe 99% of what I hear on YouTube. And so I'm not going to automatically believe the stuff against him. Now, what do you think about Barry?
I actually when I saw Barry, I haven't talked to Barry, but he is nice. Looks nice. He looks
A
nice.
year ago, I was in Egypt, and she was in Malboal with her family, and they saw Barry Jordan
Yeah,
right before Typhoon Odette hit.
yes,
Yeah, it's been a year.
he actually looks nice. He looks like kind of laid back, like kind of
Laid
cool.
back, cool,
Yeah,
friendly.
that's how I see it. That's how I know it.
Now, the problem in YouTube, and I'm going to talk about this on the Fazio thing in a minute, people think that because you don't have anything personal against Barry, that means that you agree with everything Barry does, which I don't. I don't know what he does. I don't agree with, I don't really, it's not my business what other men do in their private life. There is Kanoy. Oh, yeah. Well, I'll get 3 more minutes, and I'm going to tell you about my timeouts. I was put on timeout today because of Big Kevin. And I'm going to explain that. So, Big Kevin, let your friends know. I want you to hear it from me because I know how pussy moves other people do, where they dox people, they give your information to dead people like Warren, they do all kinds of commotions, threaten to release personal information. So I'm going to get out in front of this one, and I'll let you decide for yourself. Gonna have another Christmas party tonight. We're kind of having a party here too. The owner of this pub, we were here last night, Patty's Irish Beer. The guy comes out in a skirt and a kilt, and plays the bagpipes every hour. Incredibly friendly here. If you guys are ever in Behold, this is the place to come. I was put on timeout by Michael Fazio, not on YouTube, but in life. In life. And I'm going to explain it to you.
Thank you so much for the coffee.
Yeah, I'm going to be at Giuseppe's tomorrow with John Blaze.
I wanna be there. Strawberry shade. Eat my weakness, go okra and duckweed. Bro, every time I close my eyes, you would see I see money
Thank you very much. Go over there to that lady there and she'll take care of you. Thank you. All right, here we go. We're going to hear the story now. As you might have heard already. Oh, perfect timing for them. Okay, thank you very much. Salamat. All right. I got in trouble because of Big Kevin. Big Kevin, you got me busted, man. Well, here's what happened. We were coming to Bohol for vacation, and we decided to check in at Fazio's place because all the shows that were going out saying that he had died or he had lost his leg. I wanted to make sure he wasn't had fallen down or had a stroke or was laying in a patch of weed somewhere and no one could hear him. So we decided to check it out and stop by. And you saw the videos I uploaded. We got along really well. It was friendly. It was fun. And we invited him to come. And I wanted the feedback that I got from the uploads was extremely positive. Um, the I had people say it was the best video they had seen uploaded in a year. I had people that said that for the first time they had a different view of Fazio. They had they kind of the videos humanized him, showed him having fun. We were pretending like he was going to attack me with a baseball bat. All lighthearted stuff. So we invited him to come and eat and to drink and have a few beers. And I was going to sit side by side with him and interview him and figure out his past, why he decided to come to the Philippines, how he ended up in the Philippines. And hey, Larry, how you doing? And so we, it was very nice. Everything was cool. And I said, I'm just going to do like an interview. We're just sitting down, having a few beers. Not Michael Fazio, the cartoon character, and the caricature that people like to make fun of, but just another man to man. We're just talking about life. Why did you move to the Philippines? How did you pick the Philippines? What was your experiences when you first got here? Updates on any of his building plans, his life with, Daisy May, etc. And that's it, to show people, because it seems like it has been a free-for-all against Fazio for quite a while right now. Now, I've never had anything against Fazio. In the past, he has gotten paranoid, and John Blaze, he might not go to bars, but he drank a lot before, and he said he was coming. This is the second time he flaked out. So the man is not good for his word. He says he's going to come, and then he flakes out a few hours before the event. He was invited months ago to go to Cebu City, dancing with us in dance clubs. He said he was coming. It was all booked. I got everybody coming to meet him, and then he flaked out. So if you want to be an apologist for his behavior, go right ahead. But I'm going to tell you right now, I got an email today saying, you went on the Big Kevin show and you revealed intimate details of my life. That's not what a man does. So I will never meet you today or any other day, blah, blah, blah. What were the intimate details? I said that he's not broke. I said that his leg was looking better. And I said that he's got a lot of equipment and tools that he himself has shown for years that if he sold everything would be worth, tons of money. He wouldn't have to live the way he lives, that he chooses to live the way he lives. I went back and listened to the Kevin show, and I didn't say anything about him negative at all. It was all positive. So I urge everyone to go back to that show, the first hour or two with Kevin, and listen to see if there was even a smidgen of negativity. But with that said, what a pussy. You can't, even if it was a smidgen of negativity, you call yourself a man, a real man, but you can't handle anybody having their own point of view. If they don't agree with you, hook, line, and sinker, you're going to block them, you're going to ban them, and then you're going to call them out. And it's time someone called you out for being the little uh, low chicken shit guy that you are. Then I get another email later that says, what if they said bad things about April? What would you do like they do Daisy May? Well, anyone that's bashing Daisy May, I don't think anyone that's decent is going to support that. So when trolls go off making stupid comments, it only makes the troll look like an idiot. And but when Fazio blocks, bans, and even when someone comes and is friendly, his reply is, I'm going to block you. I don't want to meet you. You can't be my friend, etc. I got to tell you, Fazio, if you were in the corporate world, you wouldn't last 5 minutes in a real job. You are so eggshell sensitive. I've never met a man in my life, and I'm not joking, who has ever been as sensitive as you. And you call yourself a man, an alpha male? Gosh, you're an alpha mangina, if anything, a beta. I'm going to have to go into the, yeah. Oops. Back indoors. I didn't. Okay. Set the record straight. I never shared a single personal detail about Michael Fazio that he hasn't already shared publicly. But here's the guy that sent my personal information 3 years ago via Warren Hunt, who he used to spend 8 hours a day with, two lonely guys talking about Frank Battaglia. Wow, that takes a lot of guts. And when somebody doesn't do what you want, you dox them, you threaten to release information, threaten to release emails. You call yourself a real man? Fuck, you're a pussy if I ever met one. We came here, my family was with you, we were nice to you. There was no ill intent. I wanted to let people see the other side of you, the real Michael Fazio. And if you can't, I mean, have you ever shown yourself with a normal conversation, Fazio, even once? It's always, I had a boat, I had a barge, I had a digger. People don't talk that way, Fazio. See, you want to control people. You've got your two or three sycophant friends, just like Warren, who are shut-in males and are fucking lonely as hell. No one else is going to sit down and talk with you. Why can't you be like on a panel with somebody? Why can't you chit chat, listen, have a discussion, have a debate? Nope. You want to control people. And in that regard, you're just like Frank and you're just like Ricky Drama. Bunch of left wing commies who want to control free speech. You want to control people. I'm not going to share any of Fazio's personal details. I know some secrets about Fazio. I know several of them. I'm not going to share them publicly because I'm not here to embarrass the man. I have no interest in embarrassing him. I did everything I could to make him be less embarrassing. I do, Nick. And that is actually one of my points. When someone is this level of paranoia, when they're this disassociated with real life, and they live isolated the way they do, they're paranoid about everything. They want to block everybody. They don't want anyone to. They want to control who goes on whose show. There's not a dime's bit of difference between our Tangerine Man and Ben Tyen and uh, drama and him. What's the difference? They're just different names of characters, but it's the same exact bullshit. Well, he smeared my name, JC. He doxed me. I was horribly doxed, as you might remember. Him and Warren and his little boys who their whole life is devoted to attacking the Tangerine Man. So, I mean, imagine this: for years and years and years, every conversation these real men have had is doing nothing but attacking some little insignificant Tangerine Man in fucking Bentai. So, I'm sorry, I'm not here to talk, tell you secrets about him that I know, but I'm here to tell you that that behavior of planning to meet people and not showing up, of pussing out, the real reason is you don't want people to see the real reality of your life. You can't sit down and have a conversation. You want to control people, you want to dominate the conversation, you want people to be on the hook. The very, very lonely man sitting in his house, middle aged man who's so angry at life because everyone left him, and now he has to live vicariously through Michael Fazio. Come on, guys. If this isn't insanity, I don't know what this fucking word means. I did. Uh, is it good, Hanoi? Is it good to scream for hours a day into the camera and your life is obsessed with Frank Battaglia? Is that good? Is that good to keep everyone in hate? I mean, he said, "What would you do if people talk shit about April?" I've experienced that a million times. But you know, why would they talk bad about her? She's nice to everybody. She's a wonderful person, best person I've ever met. Now, I would never think, I never dream of talking bad about Daisy May. I don't know her. I never met her. She's never talked shit about me. She doesn't attack people. Why would I talk? No one, no decent person would talk shit about Daisy May or April for that matter. When a woman who's on the internet, on YouTube, and has 17 boyfriends at one time and playing them all like a fiddle, yeah, then somebody's going to get mad. But um, we see that a lot with a lot of people. So, whatever happened, the real thing was I'm on Kevin's show, and there's people talking shit about Fazio, and he wants them banned and blocked. And if you don't ban them and block them, he doesn't want to deal with you. I'd like to know what's different between that and what Barry Jordan has said about Frank, where Frank demanded that he block everybody, and Barry said no, and that led to the current war that they're in right now. You know, if Michael Fazio wants to believe all his goofy beliefs, which are all false, not one conspiracy theory he believes is even remotely true. It's all bullshit. It's a fucking con job to get people to listen, okay? But if he really believed even a half of what he said, it wouldn't make any difference because if people want to believe they're going to fall off the edge of the ice cliff, more power to you. Go over there and see if it's true. It's not going to change anything about anybody else. That's not the issue. The issue to me is being a pussy, being a fucking cunt, where you can't show up, you can't sit and talk, you can't debate, you can't have a reasonable disagreement and walk away. You want sycophants. You want lonely old men who think you're so cool and so smart. And if you were so cool and so smart, you would not be what's going on right now. Let's be real here. I know the reality. I know the reality more than anyone. These guys have never met you, but they hung on your every word. You're 5 or 10 little people. With all your bullshit about being shadow banned, give me a break. We see every single time there's a notification. The reality is, no one wants to listen to a show where they block everybody, No one wants to listen to a show where all they do is scream and bitch about Frank Battaglia, the Tangerine Man. That's the real reality, guys. I went to his house with my family, with my children, April's aunt. We didn't go there to do some pussy move like that dipshit travels and hit him from behind. I wouldn't dream of hitting the guy because, come on, what would it prove? Wouldn't prove anything. What I mean, attacking people from behind is a pussy move. If I had something against him, and he's right down the street from where I'm right now, I'm telling him he is a pussy because not showing up. And he said he would. And he's using excuses like trolls. Come on, Fazio. You can't even take a trip to Vietnam. You can't even order a product without it being a total disaster. Everything you do is a disaster. I've lived in the Philippines longer than you have, and guess what? I never have any of the common experiences that you do. Did you ever stop and think that maybe it's you? Did you ever stop and think that maybe you're just a dumb fuck? Cunt who needs to change his life? Did it ever occur to you? Where are these friends of yours? I remember when you were telling everyone about Mike Stone. You and him are hanging out, your best buddies. 2 days later, it comes out that he says, you got a lot of issues. That he won't let you anywhere near his house. Come on, man. You've been bullshitting people for so long. If you want to bullshit people, I don't buy any of it, by the way. If they want to buy it, like, oh, he's a great man over there, that's, you know, why don't you man up and stop doxing people and stop threatening people and stop telling people how they're stone stupid? Why don't you fucking show up and have some balls for once in your life? If you were too disheveled to fight back with dipshit travel, I can understand that. You got hit in the head, you didn't know what's going on. But all the moves, blocking this, blocking that, it's all pussy. Do you think that's what real men do? I just booked. I'm not saying this in a boastful way, but I'm going to tell you. I just booked yesterday. I just got the order. Over $1 million job for Johnson and Johnson in the Netherlands. Do you know how many meetings took place? Some of them, like 25 meetings. Some of them lasted 7 hours. Do you know how many screaming and shouting and name calling and fucking arm twisting that we went through to get this job? A lot. And every job is like that. That's what happens when you're dealing with finance people and bankers and people who make decisions. They're gonna fucking arm wrestle it right out of you. And you call yourself a man. One person says something on Kevin's show, and you're so sensitive, like a fucking eggshell, that you crack into pieces when some troll that didn't have a channel says some bullshit thing. My gosh. You're obsessed with the Tangerine Man. I'm not here to tell them about your life because whatever's secret between you and me, I've always kept secret. What's up, Terry? I've always kept it secret. Like when I was on your Patreon, and then you canceled me because you got paranoid because of Warren. Why did you have so little discernment when it came to Warren? Why were you so easily duped by a guy that was obviously duping a lot of people? If you had the brains, you'd know he was a con man. But you canceled me at one point from your Patreon because you thought I was gathering up information about your members. Sorry to tell you, I would never do that because that is the ultimate pussy move. So I've never said or heard or done anything with, I would never do something to hurt Jack Thompson or any of these guys because I like those guys. Well, you know how it is, Kanoy. I'm not in the construction world, but I'm in something a lot tougher than that, where I have to go in and wrestle $1 million orders. I had the blowout year this year, made more money than I ever could have dreamed. This year I had 3 straight years. I've had good years, I've had bad years, but every job you got to go in and fight. to go in and fucking wrestle them to the ground. You got to outthink them, outsmart them. You got competitors. There's a lot of hungry people out there. You go into these board meetings in a suit, tie, everything, and you got people that are calling you names. You think YouTube is bad? My gosh, YouTube is a bunch of kittens playing in a pillowcase. Hey, Sex Pet Task Force, why are you such a pussy? Why do you follow Frank like a big bitch that you are? Big ostrich. Oh, it's so painful, Sex Pat. You can't do any better than that. My gosh, you're just pathetic as Fazio's followers. And for your information, you pussy, I just said earlier that I'm going to be going down to Malboa in 2 weeks. And I'm going to try to interview Barry. And I'm going to try to interview these other people you guys are talking about. Stupid people are paying. You're right about that, but the thing is, you know, to call. I mean, the irony of it is to call this real men. You're the dickhead, Sex Pet Task Force. You are a coward. Why don't you come up on the camera and let's see who you are? Oh, you don't need to apologize. Well, Mick, I did. I mean, I genuinely cared about the guy because I never had anything against him. We didn't go there to cause trouble. We didn't come there to cause a commotion. But the guy is so hypersensitive about little fools like Sex Pet Task Force that he has to block everyone, ban everyone, freak out, go on rampages, block people who are on other people's shows because they did. Go look at the thing that's in Rich Bawong's show, how he wants to block Sabong and Rich Bawong and Don C. And does an hour and a half on Don C. and what a loser he is. Why is Don C. a loser? He has a nice house, he had a nice career, he's got a nice wife. It's bullshit. He's a good guy, actually. Ostrich, focus on Fazio. Okay. I got put on timeout, Kevin, because you had people in there, trolls, who were talking shit about him. And because I was on the panel and I'm not reading the comments, he thinks I shouldn't be on a show that has comments about him or Daisy May. It's the same exact thing. He wants to block people like Sabong because Sabong left a comment on Ricky Drama. It's always the same old stuff. Guilt by association, hypersensitivity. I mean, it's pathetic. In my own experience in life, accomplished people who have actually done something are not hypersensitive, aren't so eggshell sensitive. Now, this is the second time this happened. I have evidence of Fazio getting me doxxed. I have evidence. I overlooked it and then tried to be nice. But, for 2 years when I was off YouTube, I had to hear, he's got something on you, the yellow man, or whatever, the orange man. It's ludicrous, man. The whole life is nothing but YouTube. And in his case, it's drilled down to looking at comments from trolls. Like he's actually triggered. Like, can you imagine truly being triggered by faceless, nameless trolls that you can just ignore or make fun of? Why would anybody let that affect their life? Well, Big Snot is not telling the truth. can go buy another lady boy if he wants. There's no stalking involved. The guy looks. We saw him walking on the street in Mactan alone. He looked like the most sad, pathetic loser I've ever seen. I saw him in Makati doing the same. So we tried to be friendly with him. Simple as that. The guy has nothing to offer. No, no. Get away, man. He's the biggest loser in YouTube. I thought he was the biggest loser in YouTube. I'll give Frank credit because Frank at least has his house. He's got Gilda. He's settled down. He says he's happy. I'll give him credit where credit is due. Is he an over obsessed little tangerine man? Yes. But the other guy with multiple lady boys and with prostitutes every night and has no game, nobody likes him. Can't even put together one sentence without having to take deep breaths. The guy is unbelievably untalented in a lot of ways. Absolutely. He has a rebar bender. He showed it on his show, and it's there. So that's one of the things he said. I'm telling people personal details. I said he has a ton of tools and he's got a ton of machines. I could show you, I don't know, 100 shows where he talked about his tools and his machines. My whole point was I wanted to tell people he's not broke. He's not like some broke guy. God knows, God is my witness. I only tried to be nice to Fazio. But I'm not going to let him tell me how, what to say and who I can have on the show. Vicky Drama found that out. If I have to choose between freedom of speech and dealing with broken down losers like these, I'll take freedom of speech any day. You know, so I will give, at least I'll give Frank credit in the sense that his life seems more stable. As far as Barry Jordan, I had nothing bad to say about the guy because I don't watch any of it. And I only have given him money when I felt that it tilted too far, where too many people were attacking him. But he's never reached out to me and asked for more money. And he doesn't beg me. He doesn't ask. I've given it on my own free will if I ever gave it. What do we got? So that was my big sin anyway. I said to Fazio, he's not a broke guy. He's not decrepit walking around on a wooden leg. And he lives close to the ocean. Somebody asked me if he lives near the hotel. And I said, well, of course he does. How do you think I knew where he lived? How did Ricky Drama know where he lived? It's public knowledge. It's everywhere on YouTube. What's up, Idol? Here's a great example, Fazio. Idol talks shit about us all the time. Idol talks shit about April all the time. Maybe he just did it today on one of the comments from Gogo Bubble Sister.
Yeah, Haida doesn't like me. Haida doesn't like my kids.
We don't take it serious.
Yeah.
We don't take it serious. It's a troll. It's just somebody who is playing games.
Yeah.
We're not going to get all emotional over a troll.
Actually, Haida can say something bad against me or my. I just want to say hi. Thank you for saying bad stuff against me. Thank you for saying about my kids, about how this half-breed stuff. You know what? You are just a faceless troll, and I don't care whatever you said. Keep doing that. If that makes you happy, I'll support you 100%. So be it. So I think that it's too much, but then what can I say? Keep it up. Keep it up, boy.
It is too much, but in spite of all the insults, we still kind of like Idol for some reason. We're not sure what.
It's like
It's funny. That's funniness to the content.
Idol is likable, even though he always bash me.
Yeah, I always bash. So one of Fazio's things today was, what would you do if somebody said blah 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 about it?
Oh, that's one. Idol's number one.
There's a comment it right there. But see, we don't take it serious because it's all joking. Now, if there was a real person who was typing that, standing right next to me, I don't think he'd be saying it. So we don't take every little comment serious. And nobody has a reason to be against Daisy May. She's never done anything to anybody. I'm not against Daisy May. No decent person is. So you said somebody said something about Daisy May. I never saw the comment. All I know is this is the second time you said you were going to come, but you pussed out. And now today you said you don't want to talk or ever see me ever again in the future. And you started off by saying the reason why was because I gave out sensitive information about you. You're a liar, Fazio. You're a fucking liar. There's nothing I said about you that you don't say all the time. I tried to show you in a positive light. Why do we never see you with friends, Fazio? Not some Filipino that you walk up and call a monkey, but why don't we see you having dinner with friends and hanging out and having conversations, chilling out? We'll never see that. You're not capable of that kind of relationship with another man. You're only capable of your very desperate guys that are living vicariously, who are so lonely that they'll actually put up with it. Imagine how lonely Warren was to spend 8 hours a day with you on the phone. And what did you talk about? Frank Battaglia, fucking 8 hours a day. How lonely did that man have to be to do that for years? Give me a break. Why don't you get out of your place and go out and live your life and meet people and date people and do shit and have conversations? Why aren't you here right now? You lied for years saying you weren't drinking, but later admitted you were. What is wrong with you? Why did you move to the Philippines? All you do is insult Filipino people, and all you ever do is act like a pussy when it comes to other men that have reached out to you that are actually living here or coming here. Well, Freebird, I think you're joking, Freebird. Hey, Jack, how's it going, buddy? You're joking, but April is the best girl in the genre. I mean, she's the coolest, most educated, funnest one. She's the funnest person in my life I've ever dealt with hanging out. We've known each other now for 8 or 9 years, and we're better friends today than we've ever been. So I am thankful, and if you don't have that in your life, Freebird, I pray that you will get it soon. Like soon. Jack Thompson, let's see. Well, I think so, King of Discord. He's beyond pathetic. I went there to check on his health. I invited him out. I invited him to eat and to drink and to get an interview. And we were going to go tomorrow doing a drone video. But see, if the only friends you can have are the ones you can control, that's not friendship. Friendship is not, I want to tell you that orange man is a bad, bad man. That's not friendship. How many times you got to repeat it? As Kevin always says, it's like Groundhog Day. It's the same content over and over. She likes you a lot too. Jack Thompson, you're back. I'm glad to hear that you're back. Seems like you've been taking a break. So that's the story. I will not tell Michael Fazio's secrets. And I knew some before I came here. I've seen some since I came. I've seen the reality of the situation. I'm not here to embarrass a man. I was here to try to let people see a different side of him. Because, I mean, what kind of a man does what he does? All day, every day, and then you end up as a shut-in in another country where you don't have a friend in this world that's truly a friend. I mean, you could never have a friend like this. If that's, why would somebody want a friend whose only job in life is to control people and to con people into thinking that he's something that he's not. You know, Michael Fazio, if you're listening, I'm sure you are, if you really wanted to rehabilitate your image, you could come up on people's panels, you could hang out with people, you could, you know, have a chat with guys, you could go to a bar, you could do something, right? You could do that. I mean, let's say I happen to know Kanoi. I happen to know that Kanoi goes on these camping trips where there's 12 people and they go out, they smoke pot the whole time, they're drinking, they're getting drunk, they got their ladies with them, and it's boys and girls and campfires, and, you know, smoking a doobie now and then. They got stories to tell for days and weeks. Why, how come you can't do that? How come you can't go dancing with your girlfriend? How come you can't bring her in with a group of 20 other girls where they could all hang out and dance? You say it's because she doesn't want to sing and dance? I don't buy that. Sorry, I just don't buy it. I think you're afraid. You are afraid when you don't have control of the situation. When you're not in control of the mute button and the block button, you simply cannot fucking exist. You can't function. So do whatever you want, but if that's a man, alpha male, then I'm a monkey's uncle. Oh no, I'm not coming to Discord King and Discord. I've never been on Discord in my life. I have better things in life to do than to sit around with a bunch of creepy dudes talking bad about other YouTubers. I mean, I just don't do it. I never talk to anybody really. I can't think of anybody off the top of my head that I'm holding conversations with when I'm not on YouTube. I've talked to a few people. I've talked to Kanoi and Kevin and a few people. And I've met people, of course, you know, a lot of people, but I'm not gonna sit around. Oh yeah, man, did you hear about Fazio? No, did you hear Frank's gonna do this? And what about Barry? I'm not gonna do that. For one, I don't have the time, especially starting in January when I'm back in Europe for months. I I don't have the interest. I have no interest in doing that. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? So you booked a trip in 5 days. Okay, I want to tell us, Kanoi, what do you do on those trips? What do the guys do? They sit around and drink and talk about fucking, talk about music, and then the girls come, you guys eat, you hang out, and you go to your rooms, right? And you fuck like wild animals. And then you go home and you say, wow, that was the greatest 5 days we've had in our life. What is this? Are you right? You're right, Graham. I mean, when you get married and you have a real life, you can come on YouTube sometimes. If you have an hour or two, you're bored. I do YouTube. If you look at my upload history, right? Like we're in Bohol right now, so I'm going to upload stuff on Bohol. After a week or two, I'll split it into private. And if I'm going to Egypt in a few weeks, I'll upload stuff on Egypt. Let people see what's around there, and then I'll get rid of it because I'm not monetizing my channel. I just simply don't care. Who always blocks you? You've never been blocked by me even once, Idol. You have never been blocked by me. I saw you that somebody blocked you one time, and I unblocked you and I told you about it. So let's be honest. We will go and fish, sit around the fire, Long hikes, great waterfalls. And then what do you do when you're all hanging out in the cabin? Not when you're hiking, but when you're back in the cabin. Yeah, Fazio with Bigfoot. I don't know who did that because on StreamYard Idle, I don't see anyone blocking. So I will check it at the end of the show and unblock you. I've never blocked anyone since I've started my show again after my 2 year hiatus. Now, this is one of the things Fazio said. I don't care about trolls, but he's obsessed with trolls. I don't have any problem with trolls. I mean, I get a few of them that come in. I just, slap them right back, and it's no big deal. But see, I thought real men hung out with other men in real life. They went fishing, or they went hiking, or they went to a bar, or they went. They talked about girls. They did. I mean, what do men do? Are men sitting listening to Frank Attacker all day, the Tangerine Warrior and Bentayan? Cook, you play card games. Yeah, I mean that's what people do, right? You have card games. You're probably drinking. You have a few bowls. That's it. That's what men do. They don't say, "I'm not coming because you disclose information about me," which is totally false. I never have disclosed any personal information about Fazio to anybody, online or offline. I have addressed him because he'll go and do it in a backdoor way, and I'm doing it up front. It's going to be here with my face on camera. Oh, yes, Heidel, yes, you're very pretty. Um, I'm not going to do this the backdoor way. You know, I'm not going to be told what I can have on my show. Why would I listen to people who are so down and out that all they do is just sit around and watch YouTube all day? And in the case of the one dipshit, get ladyboys and prostitutes every day. Why would I look up to a man like that? What is there worthy in that person's life that I would sit around and say, yes, dipshit, I will follow you and block idol. Fucking pussy people if I ever saw them. Yeah, I want to give a shout out to somebody who's definitely not a pussy. Nico's Experience. Nico's Experience. You want to sing the Nico song?
Nico,
Nico, Nico, come home, come home, come home. Nico, 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 come home. That's right.
I always love that song.
Nico is not a man China. He's a real man. He's a wounded warrior, and he's a great guy. And I hope he comes up on panels more often. Yeah, it was on Big Kevin's show. That was a throwback show, Big Kevin, to the old days. Let's hope that those shows come back. That was really entertaining. He did a great job. He made a lot of money. And I want to announce the funds, the GoFundMe now. I want all Kevin's buddies to give him $100. I'm going to pledge $100. I want everyone. Nico has offered to pick up Kevin at the airport and let him stay with him for free for 10 days. And he guarantees him he's going to get laid every day. So I want to see Kevin to get to Colombia from Florida is about a 2.5 hour flight. I checked the prices. They're about something like $300 round trip. That's what I checked. I mean, I hope it could be less or more in January when he goes. But I want to make the Let's Send Kevin to Colombia pledge and watch his channel blow up. Yeah, Nico's a great dude.
I like Nico's song.
Kanoe, if you'll kick in some of it, we can get John Baker and PH Rocker, me, and a few others and we can get him over there. Get him over there so he can do live streams in Colombia. I mean, he's been sitting on his ass for 9 years in his mommy's basement. It's time for Kevin to get out to Colombia and start showing what kind of game he has with the ladies. $140 last night, Kevin. I mean, I'm proud of you. It's good. I mean, you work hard. You know, I had record years lately work. I was asked 2 days ago, how can you explain why you had such an amazing couple of years? I said, because I outworked everybody. If you have competition and you work twice as hard, you're going to get more of the work. If you work hard, Kevin, and you work hard getting yourself healthy, which you have been doing, and if you work hard doing your shows properly, getting them set up ahead of time, getting the right panelists, Richard Lee Rogers is amazing, you're going to make some good money, man. You can go out there and make this into a nice supplemental income to your Social Security. Yeah, you got to go back and watch it today, Freebird. It was epic. So anyway, I wanted to say, and it's one last thing on the Fazio front, and unless somebody has questions, I'll answer any questions. I have never once in my life tried to make him look bad or humiliate him or do anything or make fun of him. Fazio wants to live in his lifestyle where he lives. That's his decision. I'm all about personal responsibility and freedom. I'm all about freedom. Fazio wants to live in the shack, in a set of conditions that would shock the average person probably. If that's what makes him happy, that's what he wants to do, I say more power to you. I don't care if he lives that way. I'm not going to make fun of him. I'm not going to make fun of his leg or any of that stupid shit. Hey, Ken Unger, how you doing? I'm not going to make fun of Michael Fazio. There's nothing funny or fun about it. When somebody can't show up because he's eggshell sensitive, when he agreed to show up, he can't reciprocate kindness. He can't act like a real guy, like a normal guy. He wants to control me, control my show, whose show I go on. He wants to make up lies about all this personal information. I urge you to go to Kevin's show earlier today and see if I wasn't I would all complimentary toward Fazio, but he can't show up and act like a normal person. When you are left alone, isolated like he is in the middle of nowhere, you start getting very weird. And he passed weird a long time ago. For him to pull this shit today is shameful. And I'm going to get, every time he mentions my name in the future, I'm going to do a show about him because he's a hypocrite. He doesn't like people talking about him, but he wants to dox people. He wants to threaten to release information all the time. It's going to work both ways, Fazio. I'm going to release a lot of things too. You're going to play that game. But I don't want to play that game because it's useless. If you can't even show up and go to a bar, I can't show up and go dancing in Cebu City a couple months ago. You flip-flop like a woman. You're mercurial, like you act normal 1 minute. Next thing you know, you're sensitive as a fucking woman on her period. You know, a famous vlogger said today, Fazio needs to get some diapers. But I'm not going to stoop down and start making fun of the man. I'm not going to tell his secrets. I'm not going to do any of that shit because he's already destroyed himself. I mean, look at the behavior, for goodness sakes. When people are telling him, I mean, I had so many people tell me, wow, I want to check out Fazio. I forgot about him. And based on the video that was uploaded, there was probably 4 or 5 people that said they wanted to give it a fresh chance and see what's going on with him. We can't have that. He only has this tiny band of sycophants We're gonna tell him, yeah, Mr. Fuzzy, oh, the Earth is flat. What exactly? He's a bad man. The little the orange man. The orange man. He's bad. Oh, he's bad. Tell me more. And that's what being a real man is. Oh my gosh, I'm surrounded by people who are real men. Come out to our farm and watch men who are some that are still in their 70s out in the field picking mung beans. I can show you lots of real men, including men who work in corporate jobs. You're not just a real man because you drove a bulldozer or a digger. A real man is a real man because he steps up to the plate. He does the right thing even when he's not appreciated. He cares for his family. He supports them. He sacrifices. He protects them. He's not a big fucking pussy. A pussy who's afraid of trolls, afraid to debate people, afraid to come on panels. Remember, we heard for years, oh, I can't come on panels because my phone doesn't work. Then you get new phones and, oh, it still doesn't work. Everything you do is a disaster. Buying a piece of equipment, going to Vietnam, going anywhere is a disaster for you, man. You're the disaster. You are the disaster. I wanted to try to reintroduce you as a man, a regular person that people didn't know the other side. If you don't give a fuck, then who gives a fuck about you? By the looks of it, nobody. Nobody gives a shit about you. By the looks of it. But even when people are nice to you, you shit all over them because you're a pussy. Hey, Kenjaman Gunner, how are you? Hope you're gonna have a good Christmas. Say hi to Bunny for me.
I can.
I had a song I was working on you before. Kenjaman Gunner. Dun, 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 dun. I'm working on it still. I gotta work it through. So I do recommend everyone go and watch the Kevin show, especially the first hour where the topic came up, because you tell me, and I'll tell you what, if I did say something wrong, I'm going to apologize for it because it wasn't my intent to say something wrong. But see, if you've got, the only way you can have friends is if you got to sit there and be on guard every word you say. You got to walk on eggshells, or they're going to dox you. They're going to cancel you. These are just a bunch of liberals who want control. That's all it is. A bunch of left-wing commies. That's my read on it. If I have to walk on eggshells, I mean, I got my wife, my friends. I got about 200 friends around the world that I hang out with every country I go, and here in the Philippines. I'm probably one of the few people that actually has male Filipino friends in the Philippines, and not just females. And I don't need, I don't have to walk on eggshells with any of them. I don't have to be sensitive to their fragile ego. Ooh. They used to call me the big ego, one of many of the Tangerine Man's many monikers he gave me. The latest one is the ostrich. Oh, that's devastated. Little Oompa Loompa Orange Man from that time. I'm so devastated. Tim Disiak, what's up? Well, if you have time, Ken, if you're killing time, I was up there for the first hour or so. I didn't say anything even remotely bad about Fazio. Not even, nobody in this world could have misconstrued that. Only a hypersensitive, paranoid mangina. That's it. But I gotta tell you, man, there's many ways when people look like pussies. Now, Fighting 50, 60-year-old people fighting. Come on. We're not going to be fighting each other, people. Who's out punching it out? How's Hawaiian, my number one guy? How are you?
I don't think they can see him. I'm gonna see him then.
I agree, How To, and I just told everyone lately that How To Hawaiian is the number one YouTuber in YouTube. But think about it. You have to walk on these eggshells. You have to be careful every word you say. Is that what men are all about? I never said anything bad about Fazio, and I never felt anything bad about him either. Tim Tiziak's in the house, and Mr. Bruiser. And you were there in the thing, Bruiser. I didn't say anything about him, but I never felt it either. I'm not sitting around thinking, oh wow, I want to see Fazio get slapped by some coward from behind. I never, I'm not thinking that way. I think um, that move against him was a pussy move, of course. I told that to him on the day it happened, and I told it to Dipshit Travels when I met him in person. I think it was wrong to do that. But we live in this cancel culture. People on YouTube are more left wing and more PC than people in the media, for goodness sakes. You you don't you let someone say a joke on your channel, I'm going to block you. I'm going to cancel you. I'm not going to show up because I'm going to prove that I'm a loser. Why are real men afraid to show up? If someone doesn't like me who meets me, I don't give a shit about that. I've had plenty of people who didn't like me in my life. I've had a lot of people who did like me when they met me. But I'm not going to let these YouTube guys, drunken fools, who are the only game they got is prostitutes, tell me who I can have on my show. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna be told what to do. I'm not gonna be babysat. I'm not. I don't look up to any of these men. They're not accomplishing anything by being on YouTube. You're nothing because of a YouTuber. If you were bald and bankrupt, or Harold Bald, or with a million views on everything, maybe I would really admire you for being so good at what you do. Philly in the Philippines has done a great job. There's certain people that have, but I'm not going to sit there and say, "Oh my gosh, really? You're a talking head on YouTube? Oh wow, I want to be like you. I want to follow in your footsteps." Come on, guys. It's beyond absurd at this point. Dipshit Travels, biggest loser on YouTube. Like, at least I thought he was the biggest loser until today. But now I got to put the other guy in that category, because if you are, after someone came and was nice to you the way we were, and you can't even show up because you're afraid to actually talk like a person to get interviewed, I don't have any respect for you, man. I have to get interviewed. I've been in the same industry and at the top of the industry for 30 years. I still have to go in for interviews. I still have to get interviewed by the Board of Regents at colleges and institutions. I still have to have business plans and go out there and make my case on a daily basis. And you're a vlogger? You don't even want to talk to people and you're a vlogger? People ask me all the time. I hear this a lot. I heard it from JC. If you believe in free speech, how come you don't have your comments turned on? Well, because I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to talk to people on YouTube. I'll talk to people on my live stream. And for the people that are really decent people that I might meet in the course of that action, I'll meet them or I'll talk to them on the phone. I don't want to sit there and have all day long answering bullshit. No. I'm not going to monetize the channel. I never have monetized.
There's so many, there's so many bullshit comments. I used to see
Oh,
though. I
we
always
used to
use the
look
red
at them and then we
ones.
held the comments, we get death threats,
Crazy.
and I had no interest. I got my wife and three children. I've worked all around the world. I don't have time to sit all day long fiddling with trolls. What's up, Christine? So all the big Fazio supporters, and none of you have really met the guy. Let's be honest. How can you sit there and look up like this is some important guy doing something of value? You can't show up and talk to people. You can't sit and have a conversation. You're useless. You're useless in this world. You're useless in this life. StreamYard, I'm not doing any links here. I'm in a bar. We're in this Irish pub here in Boho, and I'm on a little, doing a little monograph diatribe here. I want people to support Nico's experience, Big Kevin. I want people to support the people that actually need the money. They use this as a supplemental income, so they can go out and do these type of things. I don't care for myself. I walked away from YouTube for 2 years when my show was at its all-time high in popularity. My last show that I did before I turned my channel off in May of 2020, I had 100 people in the room at one time. And I worked the show day after day, did all the things you're supposed to do. I just have no interest in it at this point. That's why I walked away from it. I do it strictly for fun. I like to catch up with people that I like Bruiser and Kevin and Kanoy and How To. There's a lot of people I like on YouTube, but I don't have the time to devote to it to do a major building the channel mode. It's not what I want. Now, with that said, if another person has 20,000 subs and 3 people watching or 10 people, and then claiming that they're shadow banned, even though their notification goes out to everybody, guys living in La La Land. Why would somebody shadow ban somebody who is so insignificant they can't even show up and have a conversation? People who are afraid of trolls, who are so sensitive, who are so paranoid. They have to break their commitments. They have to break and lie about it. I never lied. Bullshit. You lie all the time. I can give you a lot of examples. Like lying today, saying you gave out sensitive information. Like what? Did you have tools that you say you had? And a vendor and a mixer and whatever. I don't even know what those things are, man. I'm not a real man because I'm not a construction worker like you. I don't know how to use those tools. So what I did all my life is I studied and worked my ass off so I can hire somebody who does know how to use them. So you keep saying that a real man does this, and a real man does that. Does a real man hide? Does a real man act like such a pussy and such a eggshell sensitive little bitch boy? You know, you're so dumb. You're dumb as the fucking day is long. You think that also when people are on there, like somebody praising the Tangerine Man, you fail to understand that nobody likes him either. They just do it to bait him because he's so gullible. You know, the sad thing with you, Fazio, is that if you got your head out of your ass and stopped being paranoid, started treating people the way they should be treated, stop being so fucking sensitive, you actually could build your channel. You actually could make a supplemental income. You could do a lot of things. You could show a lot of things. You could do a lot. But to sit 99% of the time trying to gin up the hate against the Tangerine Man, does anyone need to gin up hate against the Tangerine Man? He's already done it to himself. There's nobody he hasn't thrown under the bus. There's nobody that respects him. I respect certain aspects of his wife. I do, and I'm not against him. I could probably actually, I'll tell you the difference. I'm going to go up to Mankind and I'm going to do the same test. I'm going to see if he would be willing to come and meet me in a bar and have a conversation, not a fight, not an attack, but a conversation about what led him to the Philippines. How did he end up coming there? Like an interview about his life. I will bet you dollars to donuts he would show up and it would be completely incident free. And I could probably jab him and joke with him a little bit, and he probably wouldn't be as sensitive. Does that mean I agree with everything he does? I don't agree with almost anything that he does. But his actions don't dictate what I do. In real life, you guys, we only have one true enemy, and that's ourself. We are our own enemy. We do sabotaging things to ourselves. We don't, you know, what is anybody in YouTube going to do to me? No one's going to come up and hit me and attack me. No one's going to do it even to him, even though the only way it ever got done to him was from behind. Think about all the thousands of the uploads and about Frank. Why hasn't anybody attacked him? He's the most hated guy in the genre by far, and everyone knows where he lives. How come someone hasn't, sat outside and gone up and attacked him? The worst that we ever got was when somebody threw dog poop on his yard, and that was funny. But why hasn't anyone ever attacked Frank in all these years? Because it's all talk. It's just all talk. I'm gonna kick your ass, man. No one's gonna mess with me. I'm a tough guy. I haven't seen any tough guys on YouTube yet. I haven't seen any good-looking guys on YouTube yet. I said it on Kevin's show. We are the ugly people. We are the wretched refuse. We are the fat people. We are the ugly people. We're the people who had trouble with females in our own country. None of us are guapo. None of us are anything. If we were, we wouldn't be in this genre. Everyone in this genre is a fucking ugly motherfucker. Including me. I'm not being. I'm not saying I'm not. Anyway, do yourselves a load of good by getting out and meeting real people and meeting real females, date people, meet people, hang out with people. Because when you become an isolated shut-in like Fazio has become, the level of goofiness and weirdness is just off the charts. It's beyond anything that anyone could possibly imagine. Now, so I'm going to tell everybody, get the word out there. You're handsome, okay, Bruce. You're the exception, but I got a room full of expats right here. There's not a good-looking one in the bunch. Everyone in here is fat and ugly, just like me. So we need to learn to accept this reality that if we were truly guapo and hot and rich, we wouldn't be in the fucking Philippine genre. So is it true that he left? Daisy left? I don't know. I mean, she wasn't there. He said she was back home, but visiting her mother or something. I don't know what the status of that is. It's one of the questions I would have liked to ask. Like, what's your status with her? What's the future plan? I mean, I think people genuinely have an interest. If the guy could put his guard down long enough, a lot of people could come in and like him. A lot of people would like him. I mean, if he put his guard down and stopped being such a, fucking eggshell, sensitive pussy, treated people right instead of shouting and trying to control people, I think 90% of the genre would actually be on his side and be friendly with him. I really do believe that. But when you're doing all his antics, no one's going to go for him. That's why he doesn't have any watch him anymore.
nice. Ideal is just warming up.
Yeah, those high backs make a mess out of you. I got a head like a festering fart in a cookie jar. Yeah, I hear you.
I just feel so nice to him tonight. It's scary when Ideal is nice because it's like he's warming up to fire all this insult, all this.
There's two idols. There's the nice one and the bad one.
That's the one.
So Barry, let's see. Problem with Fuzzy, he can't handle without the males. Oh, you're so right on that, Barry. I mean, he's the least alpha male I've ever seen in my life. I mean, for me, I played all three sports, and I was on the varsity team and a starter in two of them all the way through high school. And then all through life, you go through station after station, achieving different things. And people will say when they see me traveling or living here, they say, "You're lucky that you got." No, I work my ass off to get wherever I am. I'm surrounded by people who are directors and executives, people that are you know, in the field that we're in, chemists, people that are real alpha males that can stand up and take the scrutiny, take the heat of being questioned, and having to prove their case with questions being fired for hours on end. That's a real alpha male. Someone who stands up, doesn't fucking run away, doesn't, um, I can go on, but these moves are anything but alpha. And so the people like that prey upon are people like Warren Hunt. Warren, who's not dead and weighed about 600 pounds, was a shut in, said that he was talking to Fazio for 8 hours a day. Well, what were they talking about? They're talking about the Tangerine Man all day, every day, 6 to 7 days a week. What can you say? What can be the conversation on Sunday that wasn't there on Saturday when you only have one topic? And then when Warren decided he wanted to talk to Frank, that was the end. I will not stand for this. Uh, but ask yourself the question, why would him and Warren be talking 8 hours a day? Not only about Tangerine Man, but about any topic. Why would you spend 8 hours a day talking to another man? It's fucking creepy as hell. Well, whatever you are, Kanoy, you supported yourself and you had a business and you had a side job. No one can take that away from you, whether you're rich or poor. You lived a decent life because of your own effort. So somebody answer that for me. I wish that the people who seem to be such fans of his, the 4 or 5 guys that seem so desperate, why would you spend day after day after day talking to another man for hours on end? Then when you ask them, what is the topic about? It's either about conspiracy theories, which are all false, or it's about um, the Tangerine Man. I'll give you an example. He says he believes in a flat Earth. Only morons believe in a flat Earth. The Earth is not flat. You'd have to be brain dead to believe that. But would the person be willing to get up and do a Lincoln Douglas style debate publicly with no notes, no Google, have a debate? Of course they would, because they would get annihilated. Their evidence is a joke. Anybody who's a freshman physics class can annihilate the argument. But they'll sit there and they'll push it. You people are so stupid. Do you believe that? You have to. You are people who believe in stuff like that are retards. Like retarded people that belong in an institution. See, if I got up in my work and in my life, everywhere I go in this world, and got up and told them at the University of Leiden University in Amsterdam, in Netherlands, I got up and gave a presentation, and I said, "Hey, I want to tell you guys, you're doing everything about chemistry you're doing in this lab is wrong. The Earth is actually flat, and if you don't believe that, you're so stupid, and I don't want your business, and I don't want to deal with you ever again." Somebody would come from an institution, put me in a straitjacket, and have me committed. But if I did have some evidence of something that was like that, I would have to present it scientifically, step by step by step. That it have to be reviewed and peer reviewed and scrutinized. And all those beliefs don't stand up to any scrutiny. It's just a bunch of goofball guys that have nothing better to do and their life sucks. They want to blame the government and America for their life sucking. Their life sucks because they suck. Your life and your marriage doesn't suck because America sucks. Your life sucks because you suck. You don't even talk 4 hours. I mean, like we talked, Tim Disiak, I met you. We had a nice hour and a half talk. That's a normal thing for guys to do. But imagine if I was on the phone with you 8 hours a day and I had one topic, right? Mr. Tangerine. Hey, Mr. Tangerine Man. I mean, wouldn't you after the third or fourth talk, Tim, say, Eric, what's wrong with you? What the fuck? Don't you have a life? Wouldn't you say that? I know you would say that. Where are we at? Where are we at? Where are we at? I'll tell you the truth. Some of these guys, that's good if you did that, Kinway. But I'm just telling you what Warren said and others, that every conversation was about the Tangerine Man. 8 hours a day. Does the guy seem interested in your life, Kanoy, or is it just him pushing forward everything about him? Is there real reciprocity in the conversations? Probably not. If you're honest with us, you're not. I know you're not going to want to say it publicly because you don't want to incur the wrath of the guy. But is it really a two-way street? I don't think so. Here's a guy that thinks people should pay for his time for a drone that he bought himself. And he says, I have $5,000 invested in it. What? Well, I did 100 hours of research. I bought the phone and I bought the drone. You're charging your research time of reading the directions as chargeable time for a hobby that you have. Well, I'm not telling you not to be friends with them either. If you are friends with them, that's fine. No, my email. I changed my emails. I'm gonna put my email in a comment section because that email got hacked. So I have a new email, and I will get that email to you. I couldn't open those emails, but I'm. Several people asked me, and I'm gonna have a new email address that you can reach me. I'm not telling you not to be friends with the guy. I'm telling you, if anybody else behaved that way, you were just in these meetings, these trips. Now, did you have people on those trips that do those things? No. You have people in those trips that are pushing conspiracy theories 24/7 and talking about the Tangerine Man. Of course you don't. In real life, you would never put up with it. That's why the person has no friends. This place is loaded with expats, by the way. There's more white dudes here and Filipinos as well than you can shake a stick at. Why don't we see videos of them shooting the breeze, having a nice back and forth conversation? He always says, "Let's see an email, Don C, of you fixing a machine." Okay, I want to put out a challenge to Fazio. I want to see you having conversations with regular people, sitting down and talking. Not with you walking up to a security guard, calling him a monkey, and then saying guapo and acting like a whack job. Let's see you sit down. Let's see if you're capable. Sit down with these expats, different people, and have a 1 hour live stream where you just talk back and forth. Have a normal back and forth conversation. If that happens, I'm gonna do a 30-day fast. That's good. That's good, Jack, if that's happening. I said that Warren said that they talked 8 hours a day. He himself said that he spent thousands of hours talking to him. And this is what they talked about. They talked about building a hotel. I'm not saying Warren's a good guy. I think Warren is 100% wrong. All I'm telling you is I went there. I know what I'm seeing. And I have witnesses. And all of us can tell you how nice we treated this man and how we invited him to eat and we invited him to go out drinking and do a little thing tonight. And the guy lied. He backed out again for the second time because he's a hypersensitive man that can't handle anybody having their own mind. Let's see you two come on over here. Let's see how long it lasts. So I'll believe it when I see it. But I don't have anything against you guys. I think you know that. And I don't even have anything against him. I'm just doing to him what he does to everybody else. Listen to the Rich Pawang upload about Don C. You're gonna fucking slap and slap and slap for an hour, man. That is just joking. He's just playing around. He never did anything. You're just an IT guy or you're just an insurance salesman. So that means that the only jobs that are legitimate, manly jobs, are those that involve construction. I mean, you got to be the dumbest person in the world if you don't realize that somebody has to fund those jobs. Why did he block you, Coco Bubble? Because you're a silly troll, and I know where you live. And if I see you say a word about me, I'm gonna let people know where you live. Well, I'm gonna agree with both of you. The Tangerine Man is unhinged, but he also can go up on people's panels. He can joke. He can be funny at times. He can live with a woman who has, it's been what? I don't remember how many years now, 6 or 8 years. And they seemingly get along. This is one of the problems we have in this genre. If I tell you that Fazio's a wimp, a coward that he is, because of wimping out, not showing up when he said he would, and the way that people in the genre think is, that means I'm on Frank's side. And Frank would do the same thing and say, well, you're a fence jumper. Not any offense, okay? I have my own family to raise, and I have my businesses to run. I don't have time to babysit overly sensitive 66-year-old men. If you can't just be nice to someone and try to be real with them without them freaking out like that, I don't want that type of person in my life either. I replied to him. I said, I don't want to meet you either now. What a fucking pussy, man. I don't want to meet someone like that. By the way, this is free speech. Free speech doesn't just uh, apply to kooky people who say they're doing something but never have anything to show for it. Free speech is for all sides. So, knowing what a coward the person is probably going to go file a case. I welcome that case, and I will unleash everything I got if something like that ever happened because um, you have abused and talked shit about people for years, and you've ginned up hate with people for years, just like the other guy does. Not as extreme as the other guy does. You did a hit job on Barry Jordan, and Barry turned around and hit back, and he disappeared for 3 weeks. You couldn't actually hold a conversation. And what was the reason you hit him in the first place? You hit him because he didn't listen to you about a lawsuit. When you filed a lawsuit, you failed. People shouldn't be getting their legal advice from people whose lawsuits failed. People shouldn't be filing the lawsuits in the first place. Running to the police, running to the police. I want the FBI. I want to show you. I mean, the hypocrisy is overwhelming. For years, he talked about Allo, how Allo was the most dangerous man in the world. He was the worst person that ever lived. He brought emails down to the PNP and the NBI and said, this is the sickest guy that ever walked the face of this earth. And all of a sudden, bam, what do you know? Now he's the smartest guy on YouTube. It is. It's all fake. It's all fucking fake. It's a bunch of little boys in a sandbox, and as long as you don't meet them and you don't see them, you're going to say, oh, look at him over there and all the great things he's doing. But if you met these people, you wouldn't say that. If you actually sat down and met them and spent time with them, you'd have a completely different take. When you see how lonely they are. I mean, I can tell you the one that was boasting for years about how he's got this great lifestyle, this 5-star lifestyle. I saw the real reality. It's the most pathetic thing you could ever dream of if you actually saw it when the camera was rolling. But everything was about projecting. Everyone's an idiot. I'm the one that's doing this. Bullshit. Stalked him and tried to be friendly. I don't want to be friendly anyway. The guy's fucking boring. He couldn't hold a conversation. He couldn't even talk more than one tiny sentence at a time without him losing his train of thought. ADD out the wazoo. His only girls he can get is a ladyboy. They tongues, and then he blames being roofied. Somebody slipped him a Mickey in his drink. Come on, man. I mean, I've been drugged before too. It didn't make me want to go fuck another dude in the ass or suck his dick. But he didn't have the guts to just admit he's fucking bisexual or gay. They liked it. He's gonna blame somebody drugging him. This is what these people do. They can't accept reality. Everything is someone else's fault. They're the victim. They're always the victim. They never victimize people. They never dox people. Of course, I have proof. I show it, and I will show this. When the time comes, push comes to shove, I have evidence that I was doxed by Fazio and Warren. Titty Twister. So, here's the deal, man. Whether you give your money to them or you give it to someone else, all the money is just a waste of money, right? You realize that you give it for entertainment value only. Now, I personally think there'd be a lot of entertainment value sending Kevin to Colombia and watching him work the streets. So I'm going to give some money to that. No, the Fazio and Ricky was not just a show. No, there's a guy that got so worked up by being constantly called a loser, a sweat hog, you're a loser, come out here and yell obscenities, that he decided to show up and call his bluff. And he did call his bluff. And we know what happened. Now, it was a pussy move because, again, you could have gone up and did it without coming from behind. And I think if he had gone up and just bull rushed him from the front, I don't, I don't think anyone would have had a problem with that because he at least would have done it eye to eye. But the way he did it is the big issue. That's so true, Ken Mick Fisher. But I try not to flaunt any of that because I try to just show people different places and countries and just I look at it as very normal. I live here for a long time. I'm able to travel around all over the world. I'm in Netherlands again, starting in next year, and I feel blessed, man. I feel fortunate. I don't feel like I need to prove, make people feel like small because I have more, nicer house. Or those thoughts never go into my mind. I've never thought that even once. What I do think about is, okay, I had, let's say I had 5 million in sales this year. I want it to be 6 million next year. This is my goal. I'm going to work harder and smarter and study more, whatever I got to do to achieve that goal. That's all I think about. Having a higher goal year after year is what helps keep me motivated. Making someone feel small, or especially somebody who's down on their luck, I don't get any pleasure out of that at all. None whatsoever. I want to point out something. I want to point out something to everybody, and I hate doing this, but I'm going to do it. We had the incident where there was about a week, 2 or 3 days worth of shows where Fazio was telling us all about his relationship with Mike Stone, the karate expert that was dating Priscilla Presley at one time. And I happen to have those saved, and I should upload them again because you can hear him talking, and the impression that he's giving is that him and Mike Stone are really close. They hang out together. He's out hanging out at his house, and it sounds like it's a very current situation, very fluid thing. And then Tangerine Man does some checking, ends up getting a hold of Mike Stone, and Mike Stone says, I won't let the guy anywhere near my house. I haven't talked to him in 3 years. He's got a lot of issues. Now, ask yourself, why did that original guy need to go on and tell you, I'm friends with Mike Stone? Why is that? So you'll think that there's transference, like Mike Stone is a famous karate guy, so he hangs out with me. Therefore, I'm a really good person. I'm a really powerful man because all my friends around me are powerful. Sorry, Charlie, that's not how life works. First of all, the story was false. It was a lie. Secondly, you can hang around all these very rich and famous people, but if you're a loser, it doesn't make any difference. You're still a loser. But Jack, I was doxxed by Michael and by Warren. I have proof. I could post it, and you'll see for yourself. There's certain things that came out that only one person in this world had access to, and that was Fazio. But yeah, I mean, we've all been doxxed. I was doxxed months before all this came out. But the point is, why is there a need to be the best? I'm number one. I had a racer. You don't have one now. Where is the racer? Where is all this stuff that you claim? Where is it? And even if it was true, because I know a lot of people who are rich that have things like Ferraris and stuff. Do you want a rich guy coming on his YouTube channel saying, I've got a Ferrari and you don't? Where's the humility, man? Where is is there any humble bone in the body there? Oh, he has, but both sides have done it. Mike Stoner, is that the one from Fast Times at Ridgemont High? But you know that story, right, Nick? Because that was a big thing there. Something pushed it off the news. I can't remember what story pushed it away. But why would you get up and lie about your relationship with Mike Stoner? I want the people that are his best buddies, knowing Jack. Why would you need to completely fabricate a story and give an impression of something that's completely false? Now, what can anybody else do? Are you going to sit up and say, "Oh yeah, he's a great man"? I mean, come on. The level of deceit is off the charts. And what happens is because there's so much disdain for the Tangerine Man, people line up to the other guy, whether it's Barry or Fazio, so they can do the fighting for them. But you know what? In all the years that he's lived out there, no one's ever gone to his house and kicked his ass. And believe me, I've actually seen him one time. I never met him, but I saw him one time. And this guy is about 5'6" and weighs about 120 pounds. You can stuff him in your pockets. Yet no one had the courage to go knock on the door and kick his ass with all the bad blood that's out there. Why is that? Even the guy here that we're talking about spent all the time on an NBI case that was dismissed in a matter of seconds. Why don't you just go to Ben Tyan and knock on the door? Call him out. Keep knocking until he comes out. You're not going to get arrested for knocking on someone's door. You're not going to get arrested for shouting into the house, "Hey, hey, hey." Why would you spend your entire existence for years ginning up hate and doing show after show for someone who's not even worth 2 seconds of your time? I don't spend a second of my life thinking about the Tangerine Man. It's just, he contacted my work one time. They thought he was the biggest buffoon that ever lived. He wrote a note in crayons, left-handed. I mean, what does it say about us if our entire life revolves around a little Tangerine Man? And everything that we think and do is connected to him somehow. That sounds like he's winning. You really want him to win? If you really want him to win, just ignore his ass. Let him go away. But no one will go and actually knock on his door. I can tell you right now, I'm not even saying this in a bravado way, but I could kick his ass with one hand tied behind my back, blindfolded. And yet not one person in all this time has ever gone and done, at least baited him into a confrontation. Why not? Where's the tough guy in that? Well, your ex, you should be, I think by the sound of it, thankful that you're out of that situation. But you know, like someone who was, no one's going to believe it. Come on. I mean, first question that a major corporation is going to say, who is this clown? And then you think they're going to fire people that have been in the industry for 30 years at the top of the industry because some dipshit in YouTube says, he said bad things about me. Cry me a river. That is totally wrong. I'm not defending that guy, Jack. The guy is not worth anyone's time. He has no life. His life is to get everyone worked up and 24/7 on YouTube. But what's the difference if doxing is so bad and Warren and Fazio dox me and Ricky and Frank dox you? It's equally wrong whoever's doing the doxing. If you applied an honest, fair standard, you'd have to look at things and say, this is wrong no matter whoever does it. Just like his false accusation today that I shared sensitive information. I told people he wasn't broke, and we got along with him, and his leg looked good, and that was sensitive. My goal there, well, I thought he might be dead, or he might be hurt, and we went there to make sure he was okay. Simple as that. But we got along fine when I was out there, and so I said, hey, why don't you come for an interview? We'll do an interview show, and people can get to know you. And he said yes, he was all for it. But then maybe somebody wasn't blocked on Kevin's show and said talked some shit, and I didn't see any comments. But I'm not going to walk on eggshells. I'm not there to police you and you're so hypersensitive. I gotta watch every comment to make sure your feelings are hurt. Now, the last bit of news we had was everyone's baiting me to go down to Mount Wall. I will. I'm going to go there in 2 weeks. I'm going to seek to talk to Barry, Cliff, or anybody else that wants to talk. And instead of listening to all the hearsay and all the gossip, I'm going to go and try to find out for myself. Because Barry has never done anything to me. I'm not against him. I don't know if any of what they say about him is true, because so much of it is self-contradictory. Some of it might be true, but I don't know what's true and what's not true, because I don't listen to anybody anymore, because everyone's bullshitting about everything. Philip Janik. Thank you for stopping by, Philip. I saw your Burger King upload earlier. It was kind of funny. So, I'll go to Mount Wall, and I will attempt to talk to Barry. Talk to him myself, not through hearsay and gossip, but I'll talk to him myself. He is a little above. Here's the thing, though. This is my point. Nobody likes him. He can't show a friend either in a normal conversation. I don't think there's anybody on YouTube that likes Mr. Tangerine. And I think everybody recognizes that. When people pretend to like him, they're just baiting him. He's so gullible, he believes it. But it's really irrelevant on the topic, because if you have one guy that's a total scumbag, it doesn't mean the other guy is not a scumbag because the other one's a bigger scumbag. I tried to be real and give dipshit Travels a chance, but he turned out to be the dipshit scumbag that everybody says that he is. He's a loser in every way. And I think time has shown that he is a loser. There's nothing about him that's admirable. Can't even hold a sentence. Can't even speak a sentence without stuttering all over the place. The guy is a dirty, smelly loser that can only get lady boys and prostitutes. We all know that. Now, that doesn't mean that the other guy's not a scumbag, maybe in a different way. So here's my point with Fazio. If Fazio had the real higher ground, what's he afraid of? What's he afraid of all the bullshit comments? Why is he so sensitive? Why is he so sensitive? What's he need a crying towel? Ooh, let me get a little tissue. If you know you're in the right, if you are in the right, don't need, like, people can sit here and say every name like Heidel's done with April. It's so laughable because it's so far from the truth. It's like somebody saying, Kanoi, I knew, I saw your mother, and she's 6'11" and weighs 500 pounds. Well, you laugh at that comment because you know that's not true. Would you be sensitive about it? Would you be like coming unhinged and unglued because someone made a comment like that? It's not. I want to know, and I mean this sincerely, because I like you guys. I like Graham. I like Philip, Jack, everybody in here. But I really have this question. It's a real honest question. Why are you guys so obsessed with Frank Battaglia? What is he? Why is he so important? I really, I mean, this has been going on for many, many years. I get it. Maybe it's boredom, and you start talking shit about somebody. And I think it's okay to talk shit about me sometimes. I encourage people to talk shit about me because we have to learn to have thick skin in this world. But this little tangerine man receives far too much attention. He is an insignificant guy, Mr. Glory Hole himself. Doesn't deserve the attention that everybody in the community gives him. If you want to look at it as a clown and you just keep it entertaining and laughing, that's fine. And by the way, not only am I going to go to Malbois and seek to have a conversation with Barry and with Cliff and all the people involved to see what's true and not true. Then I'm going to go up to Bantayan Island before I go back to Europe, take some vacation time in Bantayan, and I'm gonna invite uh, Mr. Tangerine to come on over and sit down for an interview and see if he has more backbone to do it than some others in recent times that don't have a backbone. And I'm going to get to the truth on every one of them. And you can be the judge. I'll let them speak for themselves, and I'll ask hard-hitting questions, but not in a you know, not a disrespectful, below the belt way. Huh? Titty Twister's back. He does, John, 100%. What a hypocrite he is, right? He's sitting there saying, "Don't talk about my woman." He's talking about everyone's woman. I have a bunch of videos of him telling the whole thing about Biggie's harem came from him, and that April's the mama son. What are we hiding? I got so much video evidence against him. It's not even funny. But what do you think people in the real world actually think when they see men doing that? They think they're just pitiful, fucking pitiful little lady boy bios. That's what April just said.
Yeah, if a man actually say bad things about the woman, like he's a he's a bio.
It's a
Like
bite.
he's a bio. Yeah.
Okay. Let her speak for it. Go ahead.
No, I grew up with this thing that I always heard this one. I always believe this that any man who actually says bad things against women is bio. Lady boy. So what can I say?
Heard it there. There's no question that he's a creepy dude. Obsessed with other men's bodies, obsessed with a million shows against Barry Jordan. He did all the shows with Fazio before. It's been going on for years and years. He's had problems with everybody. He had problems with Ruby, and um, I mean, there's so many of them you can't even keep up with it. But let me give you an example. I gave up dealing with him, let's say 3 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago. And once I gave it up and started focusing on work again, I had the best years of my life. When Kanoy left, when Kanoy in the Philippines left, he left YouTube. He had a big problem with his ex. And you know what he went and did? He rebuilt his businesses. He got a new woman who's fucking a hell of a lot hotter than the last one. And he's out partying like never before. So he fought back by focusing on real life, and he went and he won. He won. Now, if you don't like that answer, then why isn't people just going out with a bullhorn and saying Yellow Man, or Orange Man, or Tangerine Man, and calling him out and live streaming it? If they have that much anxiety, why aren't they doing something about it? That's my point. I'm not saying he's not a total dirtbag, but also at the same time, those people who had the problem with it, when they finally got sick of dealing with it seemed like their life got a lot better. I can tell you that Kanoy's life is drastically better in 2000, headed into 2013 than it was headed into 2020. Oh yeah, there's no doubt about it, Graham. I mean, he's done some of the creepiest stuff in the world, and he's the biggest hypocrite on YouTube for sure. Guys, I mean, it's the epitome of hypocrisy. But you either have to go take action, or you have to walk away. But to continue to, talk, like YouTube be the court of it, it's well established. I mean, there's channel after channel after channel after channel that attacks him 24 hours a day. So there's no question that he's getting the coverage. You see, he likes that. He's like a typical narcissist. The only way to truly deal with him is to take the oxygen away. That's it. You're right, leader. I mean, it's an attention thing, and he knows how to push people's buttons and go for it. But in real life, I mean, let's be honest. I know I'm a Sasquatch, but in real life, somebody like him came up and was talking shit to me. I fucking flick him away like a fly. I mean, it's more of an annoyance than anything. So that's it, Kanoy. You're doing better. You're doing awesome. Even medically, you're doing better. Yeah, whatever medical things, and what I mean, plus we all went through COVID. I mean, things get better. Don't let a tangerine man take away your joy in this life. Well, you know, when someone's getting involved with daughters, Zach, that should be legal. There's got to be some recourse for that. But one thing we learned, and I hate to say this because I don't want to make it sound like I'm encouraging this to happen. But one thing that we learned through the whole Fazio Ricky drama mess was that even if you are caught on camera attacking someone from behind in a pussy move of the century, you're gonna walk away scot free. They're not gonna do jack shit about it, and they didn't. Got a little slap on the wrist. So with that said, people have a real serious issue. And I think people should confront it. I don't think that anyone's going to do anything for knocking on someone's door. I don't think anyone's going to do for someone to call them out, especially if it's on a live stream, to see how tough that person really is. Now imagine if I'm sitting here telling you all the time, I'm 6'7", 300 pounds. I'm a big Sasquatch. I'm a tough guy. I was a kickboxer, a boxer and kickboxer up to my late 30s. I can kick anyone's ass. And then somebody comes up here right now and confronts me. I'm like, oh, don't hurt me, please. Oh, store owner, call the police. What are you going to do after that incident? You still going to think I'm a tough guy? No, you're going to think I'm a pussy. That's pussy move. So if somebody has something to say to people, and they don't just think he's just a clown and truly has done something horrible, I think people should just go confront him. Just say, hey, let's get it on, buddy, right now. And let him call the police. Because the police aren't going to do anything for you showing up. If you show up and you attack somebody and you hit somebody and you do violence, of course you're going to get in trouble. But if you just show up and you call them out, I don't think that's illegal. Where is Jeff Swift these days? Yeah, the children candy stuff. It's stupid, right? It's crazy. And I want to again reiterate, I was never talking shit about Fazio. Never have. Other than I don't agree with Fazio's beliefs. That doesn't mean I'm attacking him. The earth is not flat. Only a retard would think that. All those stupid things are just ludicrous. But I don't care. I mean, I've always been nice to the guy. I was nice to him when I talked to him on the phone many, many times. I walked away from it all, but um, I tried to be nice to him. See, things have to be reciprocal, not just one person doing all the effort. Oh, no question, Graham. I mean, the attack on him was the biggest pussy move. He could have been killed. If you come up and hit somebody from behind and hit them in the temple the right way, you can kill somebody. Or if you hit them and they fall down and hit their head, you can kill somebody. People should go to jail for years for doing that move. But we saw it on video. And what did the guy get? 4 days and a slap on the wrist. So I believe that's sort of a open invitation to go and confront somebody. I mean, I could walk up to a person like this, not making any move, right? And say, you are a fucking asshole. I mean, I can go up and confront them. Let them call the barangay. Let them call the PNP. What are they going to arrest you for? What's the charge? Freedom of speech? They are, Ken. I mean, it's unbelievable how foolish this thing has gotten. You have the right to do that. You don't have the right to have violence. I'm not advocating violence. But I'll tell you what, if someone did some of the shit that I've heard other people say, I'm walking over there and knocking on the person's door until those police show up. Even the size of Buzz, yeah, I mean, that's what I was worried about. I thought he might have had a heart attack, or maybe he fell down, or had a concussion. Because suddenly we went from nobody was hurt, heard anything from Fazio to all of a sudden I heard it on 3 different people's shows that Fazio was dead or he lost his leg. That's right, Heidel. You're coming around. Of course, April grew up in the streets. She had a lot of fights with boys back in the day. Okay, see you later, Heidel. Say hi to the dealer. Thank you very much, Jack. It seems like you've been gone from YouTube for a while, and then there's a fake Fazio account. A lot of people think it has your picture. I don't know if that's you or not. But I'm always pro Jack Thompson, and I'm not here to tell you not to be friends with Michael Fazio. I don't feel like it's my job to dictate to other men who to be friends with. But your friend didn't get the memo about that one. No, I like Jack. I like, well, I mean, I think we all thought we liked Warren at one time. But that whole Warren thing was a big fraud. Big fraud from day one. And of course, Fazio was so gullible, he believed everything the Warren said. But that was, of course, very, very, well, they both probably abused the shit out of each other. Who knows? But oh, see you, Tim. Well, okay, so here's a great example. Idol starts out bullshitting and then ends up being nice, right? We don't have to go, oh my gosh, I'm gonna long form Heidel and I'm gonna block her and sometimes the best way to deal with trolls, whoever is listening, is to play with them and to make fun of them or to, just talk to them because what happens, and this is what Fazio doesn't understand. I had told Fazio he should unblock everybody because what you don't understand is when you block everybody, you amplify the voice of people. So let's say I block Heidel. Heidel's got 150 stock accounts. Just makes another one, another one, another one, another one, another one. And I might get a little bit of action by not blocking. If I start blocking all the time, I'm going to get bombarded. And that's how the troll game works. When they see they can get under your skin, when they see they can bother you, then you get bombarded with them. When you are not intimidated by it, or you feel like you can't be interrupted by it, first of all, on the interruption part, there's nothing that Fazio or anybody else says that is so important that you can't be interrupted by a troll. Oh, I kind of felt that way too, but Hanoi, I felt that way. Something about it didn't seem right to me. Like the whole hotel, he's going to have the Warnage Pavilion. Where's the money? Where's the money? Where's the money? Why would somebody do that without going there first? If you had all that money, why didn't you go there? There were so many things, but then he was dying of cancer. He was the darling of everybody in YouTube, right? So he just kind of went along with it. Oh yeah, they won. But here's the reality of what it was. He was a desperate and lonely man, and this is what YouTube should focus on. That there's a lot of lonely people out there, a lot of lonely people. And people are turning to booze and to pills and to drugs sometimes to deal with that, and other people are latching on like a tick on a dog's ear to a man that had endless amount of time to talk with him because he himself is also a very lonely man. So now you have two guys that are in the same boat, and it takes on a life of its own. One way to fix it is to have relationships with people in real life. Not relationships that mean you're walking up to a security guard, but real relationships. Have real relationships with, date somebody, and whatever family you still have, try to strengthen those relationships, and then that has a way of, you know, tamping down a lot of the oddball stuff. So you have one guy that's a shut-in and another guy that's a shut-in, and they lock horns to be best friends. Neither one of them is objective anymore. Do you?
So I feel like
How about just two more? Two.
I do understand
Here comes the mass again by Eurythmics. I want to reiterate another thing, guys. Let's give an example that, let's say that Fazio or Frank or anybody met me and they just didn't like me. They said, I don't like him, he's a dick or he's whatever. That's that's perfectly fine. I'm not trying to become popular. I already have so many people in my life. I don't need other friends. I'm trying to sort of get rid of some lately. But so let's say they didn't meet me or they met me and they don't like me. You know, the hypocrisy of some of them that didn't like me. One of them that didn't like me is because I didn't think he was anything. I didn't think his game amounted to anything. He didn't have females that really would give a shit about him. He just wanted to pay him. He just wanted to go get a lady boy. Um, if you're a guy that's successful and you're working and you have a family, you are not going to be popular with that type of vlogger. So that type of vlogger lives and dies for lonely men who live vicariously through them. I lived here for 10 years of my life. I don't need a vlogger to tell me anything about the Philippines. That's not, so I'm a very big enigma. I have a family, a wife. I show myself, my face on cam. I show my family on cam. I'm an enigma and an oddball in a community that has very few people that are like me, and there's a certain type of person, and that dipshit who didn't like me is because I didn't fit the type of guy that he needs. He needs an easy person to dominate and control. Somebody that e-begging. That's why all his friends are e-beggars because they look at him. Oh, you make 5,000. I want to be like you when I grow up. But somebody who's already got something going on, they're not going to be impressed by it. Um, Short hiatus from YouTube because of work, of course. When I was out on my trips, I was out gone for months, and I was working 16 hours a day, and I was in one country one day, and another country, another country, another country. I was all over the place. I didn't have time to do YouTube. Every once in a while I did. I did a stream from, I think, Abu Dhabi. I had time. I did a couple in Amsterdam. I try to throw them in when I can, but if push comes to shove, YouTube's the first thing that goes overboard. So yeah, if you get busy, of course, YouTube's going to be gone. They do, man. I mean, you and I know Kenora. I'm not trying to bring up this topic, but we knew a vlogger that was jacking off 7 times a day for 26 years. He's been on in love and in an LDR for 10 years on YouTube. And even though he said it, the moment the Philippines opens again, I'm going to be on there. I'm going to meet the love of my life. Well, a year's gone by and he didn't show up. So he added a new 1,200 masturbation trips since the first promise was made. This is not how you live your life. And if you're going to live your life vicariously through people on YouTube, which is a big mistake, find someone who's got 1 million subs, 1 million views, that's making 10,000 a month. Like the one guy's making 30,000 a month on YouTube. Someone like Philly in the Philippines is making 3,000 a month on YouTube and has 100,000 views. If you want to live vicariously, do it through the successful ones that look like they have a life that you'd like to emulate. Now, can anybody truly say that if I hooked you up to a lie detector test and pumped you with sodium pentothal, could any of you actually say you want to live the life of any of these guys that we're talking about? You want to live the way they live? What? My mother would disown me if I lived the way they live. She'd say, "Where did we go wrong, Eric?" Last thing in the world you ever want to do is live the way these people live. Most of them, I won't name names, live worse than the Filipinos they live nearby. Much worse. What is honorable about that? Why would you want that? I thought everything about life was getting an education, about growing and going up the ladder. You know, you start off with a condo or a starter house. You sell it, get the equity, move into another one. And most people do 3 or 4 moves by the time they finally settle down in their last house. They're climbing up. Income goes up. They get a promotion. That's what life is supposed to be about. Not, I want to leave the United States or Canada, two of the best countries in the world, to go live like worse than a Filipino in a third world country. What is admirable? Why should we look up to that? What is there to look up to? It speaks more of the people who are following those people, that they must be just almost paralyzed with some kind of mental problem. I got nothing but respect for you because you are a working man and you're showing it by your lifestyle and your kids and everything that you do. So, regardless of what happens with me and Fazio, I like you and I respect you, Jack Thompson, and um, I respect people that actually get up every day and go out there and make it happen. Not just bullshit about making it happen, but actually go out there every fucking day and put it on the line. Those are the people I respect. And I respect it whether they're a cook in the kitchen or whether they're a truck driver or whether they're a construction worker or whether they're an IT guy. I still respect it because with all the deadbeats that we have that are on government assistance, we have to have people who pay the bills, the real people. And that's another point, and I'm not going to go off into this, but if you are stressed, I feel stressed.
I'm stressed.
I need to be given pills, and I need to not work and let the government pay me the rest of my life because I feel stressed. Grow a backbone and a pair of balls. Why should the taxpayers pay for you because you're fucking lazy and don't want to get a job? I left my work when I was 42 because I was stressed out. All the condoms I had to pick up. You want somebody else to pay for you. What the hell? And if you're living up to that expectation and she's happy with you and you're happy with her and your business is going great, it's fucking awesome. Now, when somebody gets legitimately hurt, like Kevin did, got a bolo to his head, we should take care of people that are hurt, like legitimately. But you know as well as I do, most of the people, or a good portion of them, are gaming the system. Because, oh, here's the other one. These same scumbags will attack a guy like Nico's experience. Why do they attack him? They say, oh, you have a face that has these pock marks. No woman would want you because of this. The guy had a bomb that exploded in his face in the line of duty. You know, we should take care of people who got injured in the line of duty, right? I find it interesting the one that uh, is getting stress leave, who was in the military, is attacking somebody who was actually in a war and got bombed and attacked and injured. So I say thumbs up to Nico and Nico's experience. One of my favorite people in YouTube. Thumbs down to all the freeloaders out there that want somebody else to pay. Well, I don't think it's going to last much longer either, John. I don't watch it. It's pitiful. The guy's a loser. The guy's really the biggest loser. I mean, let's say before this week, of all the people I've met, the one that just seemed pitifully down, pitifully an empty shell, of all the people that I've met in my life, I would have to rank him as the biggest loser of all of them. When you see it in real life, it's different than what you see on the screen because you can see it like no one, he doesn't think anyone sees it, and it's just pitiful. It's pitiful. It's nothing like what he portrays, and whether it's even true what he portrays, does anyone really envy that? Oh, I'm going to go town to town with prostitutes and ladyboys. I'm going to attack everybody and then act like a victim. Oh, and when somebody gives me a dose of my own medicine, I'm going to go and sneak up on them from behind, get them, and then turn around and tell the police that you were only defending yourself and he hit you first. That's how pitiful these people are. On the blackjack button. Yeah, you guys, if you haven't done it, try to go look at Kevin's show. See if I said something that was not complimentary toward um, Mr. Sensitive. I will apologize if I did, but I didn't. See, for me to say something bad about the person, I would have to think something bad about the person. And I don't have any bad thoughts. I hadn't until now. See, the other thing we have to realize, if you want to believe that the Earth is a 24,000 mile, 400-foot wall of ice at the edge, knock yourself out. More power to you. You're a retard if you believe it, but if you really believe it, I don't give a fuck. I'm not going to change what I do every day. But see, while I think that person is totally out of their mind, if they believe it, I don't even think he believes it in real life. I could still be friendly with a person who has the most crazy beliefs because my life is not connected to those crazy beliefs. His is. He said, I heard him say it, if you believe the earth is round, you cannot be my friend. Wow. Do you guys do that? Do you pick and choose your friends, whether they believe the earth is flat or round? I mean, that's like retarded beyond belief. I mean, you guys, if you don't believe the earth is a sphere, I really question your sanity. Only the biggest smart morons. You know the people that are in the flat Earth world are just like the people in the YouTube world. The Brett Glassos of the world are like the Mark Sargents of the world who are the head of that other thing. Because they can't get women, they can't get laid, they're ugly, they feel like they're out of society's mainstream.
Nice.
And so they coalesce around the topic, and now all of a sudden, oh yeah! You think they would stand up to real engineers, scientists, and I mean, come on. Please tell me you don't believe it. Nico's my hero too. In fact, Jack, I have, I want everybody to give Kevin $100, and I'm pledging my 100 for him to go to Colombia. I looked up trips to Colombia from Miami the other day. I saw some that were only $200 round trip. So I think if Kevin can raise about $1,200, he can go down with Nico, and Nico offered to let him stay there for free. And he would let him sleep in his place. He would pick him up at the airport and introduce him to hot Colombian chicks right and left. Now, if Kevin doesn't go forward with this, I'm going to be questioning his sanity too. Retard is not considered nice anymore. Okay, what's a good substitute word for that, Go Bobo? Well, I know I probably shouldn't use that word, but we use that word when we were growing up. It is a bad word, I guess. But you know what I'm saying. If somebody truly believes there's a 400-foot ice wall guarded by NASA, I did the numbers on this the other day. I actually calculated it. You'd need about 3 or 4 million troops to guard it. Where are all these guys, man? Who's funding that? You don't even have any people in the entire U.S. military. None of them broke. None of them cracked. So the Vietnam vets cracked about the Gulf of Tonkin, but the 3 million ice wall warriors, none of them are talking. Okay, I'll do that. Simpleton, that makes everybody happy. Slow in the head. I like that. Okay. How about the word moron? What'd you say, Arcelia? We're always looking for sensitive alternatives in this PC world that we find ourselves in. I was cancelled by Michael Fazio
You're done.
on December 16th, is it?
17.
On December 17th, 2022, Michael Fazio canceled Big E.
Aww.
I need a crying towel, baby. Cry me a river.
Let me try for
Can you get me some Depends too? I gotta change my diaper.
India. Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
Oh,
They, you live in Colombia, but be careful.
oh, I trust him more than that guy too. I did a live stream last night. You guys can come on here. People question me over my uploads about Fazio. I said, and he said I exposed sensitive information My sensitive information was, I said he's not broke. He has a ton of equipment there. He has tons of tools and equipment. Those are assets that can be sold. And if he sold everything, he would have a minimum of $100,000 or more. That's in equipment alone and tools. So I was trying to tell people last night on my show that, don't feel sorry for the guy. He's eccentric. He's might be the most eccentric person I've ever seen. He reminds me of the lady that saw the report that had 192 cats living with her in her Beverly Hills mansion. There are eccentrics out there that do weird things like that. But I totally support his right to live that way. But what is he scared about? Gova Bobo, what in the world is he scared about? You see, I didn't do what they did, what happened before, when I snuck up on him. I saw a Christian, Christian. Christian called the police, that Christian. And I said, is Michael there? I mean, is he alive? Is he okay? And he said, yeah, he's in this place. And so he went and got him. He called him. I didn't want him to feel threatened or like he's going to be. I mean, he might be paranoid if somebody showed up and started rushing into the property. Of course, I understand that. Okay, Kevin, $400 round trip from Nashville. And you can go down there and bang bitches for 10 days? Get the fucking thing booked right now. Get John Baker to give it to you. I'll kick in some money for you. Everyone will kick in money for you, dude. You need about $1,000. You need some money to do some of the other things. But I'm 100% serious, Kevin. If it's only $400, book it. Try to book it in the first week of January. It's probably going to go down a little bit. If you can make it on 400 and you need a couple hundred, few $100 in spending money, book the trip, man. Just book it. The pink N16. Wow. I do believe that, though, Bobo. I think that's why he doesn't want to bring. I think that's why he didn't show up to go dancing. I think that he doesn't want people to know what is very, very obvious when you go there. And I'm not here to tell you anything private, secretive. But if you actually go there and see it, you would have a different opinion than you have right now, and there would be a level of shock. But with that said, like I never bought any of it. When somebody's really super successful, they're not living that way. I mean, I knew that years ago. Saying that you had a digger and a racer and stuff like that when you were 20, 30 years ago means absolutely nothing. It's all about how you are now, not what you were like when you were 20. So I never bought any of that stuff. But I do agree with Jack Thompson in that if that's what he wants to do and that's what he wants to live, then that's his prerogative. And who am I to judge it? Kevin will never go to Columbia. He's happy home. Is that you, Frank? I mean, seriously. By the way, Frank, how many stock accounts do you have now? You've been running wild with your troll accounts. Well, I'll tell you what, Frank. $400. I think that between all his friends, he can raise $400. And I think he can raise a hell of a lot more than that. I think a lot of people will also chip in, $10, $20 type of thing. And then he will have a host that can show him around, Nico. Nico made the offer. He should call on that and go there. He's happy at home, spanking it. Well, he hasn't had any choice but spanking it for the longest time. It is a fake Frank. Well, he has so many troll accounts. I mean, Frank has at least 53 known troll accounts. Why would you help an overweight man get some tail? Well, you don't have to, fake Frank. That's the beauty of freedom, man. It's just like the guys that want to give Fazio a bang a pot, make a lot. If people want to spend their money and say, okay, here's $100, Fazio, bang a pot, that's their fucking business. People should have the freedom to give it anywhere they want. Now, if you don't want to give it, don't give it. But come on, Fake Frank, wouldn't you love to see Big Kevin in Colombia with bitches on his arms? Come on, I would love to see that. That would be worth its weight in gold for me. It'd also be worth its weight in gold. You know, uh, let's look at this realistically. How many of you have ever been in a situation where you had sex every day and then suddenly it stopped for years? Think about it. You're fucking like a wild animal every day of your life, and then suddenly the spigot is turned off and you can't turn it back on. That's what he's been through. So I don't think it's any small wonder that he might want to go and, you know, have the real thing instead of, you know, working it. Shit, that fist is big, isn't it? Look at that fucking thing. My gosh. You know, when I look at it like this, it looks like normal to me, but when I do that, I am a Sasquatch. He'll never go to Colombia, mark my words. Well, this will be a test for him, Frankie boy, because if people raise it and he goes, I think his show's going to explode. He'll make more money than ever, and he'll be back. He'll be well on his way. But if that money comes through and he doesn't have the balls to go down there, I agree with you. If he doesn't do it, even though he has a chance, people are going to start questioning a lot of things. This is Kevin's chance to silence his critics once and for all. But you know as well as I do, how many critics does he really have? One or two with a bunch of troll accounts. He's also got more friends than anybody, and friends that donate than anyone that I've seen on YouTube.
Go, Kevin! Go, Kevin!
Go, Kevin. Yeah, head over to Colombia and get it done, man. You know,
Bang
one of the
some
nice
dishes,
things
Kevin.
is, here's the thing you got to understand, and Nico can tell you this. You might go to Colombia and like it better than you ever liked the Philippines. You might go to Panama and like it better. You, you really should try different places, man. You might like it better. You might like it worse too. I've been to a lot of places that I like, and I've been to a lot of places where the girls are fucking hornier than hell, like Saudi Arabia. Saudi girls are the horniest people you ever met in your life. Same thing with the Jewish girls and Dutch girls. There's a lot of that. You don't have anything to prove to anybody, but this is your chance to, dude, if you're sitting there with hot Colombian bitches on your arm, what are they even going to say to you anymore? What will there be left to make fun of? You've lost a lot of weight, you're getting in shape, you're getting healthy. You going over there and showing that is going to, I mean, what are people going to say? I don't think they should have said shit to you even before. But I personally strongly rooting for you to go there, and not just to prove them wrong. That's only a little tiny part of it. I want you to go there so you can have a fun time and explore, and get out of the, being kept out of the game for a while, ready to hit the road again. And I think this can be a template for future. Where you, before you end up retiring, you might be able to take some of these smaller trips, see how you do, see how you handle, you know, getting warmed up and practiced up. It's a good thing. All right. Well, how's it going, Roberto? I'm glad to see lately that you've been back, man. I've been wondering what happened. That's Roberto, everybody, and he's a great guy. He's not a racist. He's an American. Um, it's 10 inches, 10 inches, my friend. And you can ask all my harem. Got a huge wiener, but what would you expect for somebody my size? I mean, I'm a fucking giant. Imagine if I was a giant walking around with that little thing that you showed on that one video you did from the Tangerine Man. What is it about these people? They have no dick. They look tiny dicks. And yeah, that other dipshit that remember he peed in the alleyway. What was that? Was that Thailand or what was that? That was Thailand, right? Gosh, the guy was fucking peeing out of a little tiny coffee straw. I mean, seriously, like things like that. Oh, it's good, man. I hope you make a lot of money. I'd like to see everybody making a lot of money. So, I think we beat this one to death. I think April's getting tired of waiting now, right? Say hi to Roberto. Say hi to Roberto. We're here in Bohol, everybody, at this Irish pub, and we've pretty spent ourselves out. I mean, we did the Chocolate Hills tour, the 9 stops, the Mirrors of the World, the Big Anaconda, Tarsier Monkey, Butterfly, etc. I went to the chocolate here after. She's totally worn out. Look, gorgeous seas. He can spot how amazing you are. I got the best girl in the country, you guys. Not only is she beautiful and the sexiest girl on YouTube, but she's also the most decent and she's the smartest. She's the most educated one. I am so fortunate, you have no idea. She's a great person. Of course, I dated for 10 years before I finally settled down. I didn't just jump at anything. I just drink salmon light. So I'm a bit of a pussy when it comes to. I can literally drink 30 beers, right? I mean, have you ever seen anyone who can drink more beers than I can get down? Yeah, no. It's scary. Whoever is gonna drink more, can you please? Oh, we had drinking competitions with white guys, and they all went down for the count. But for the first time in my life, a week or two ago, I drank a giant bottle of, it's a huge bottle of gin. And I did it with gin and 7 Up. And that's funny. It's the first time I've ever drank hard liquor in my life. And he's down. Well, first of all, I was shocked I had the capacity to drink that much, even hard liquor. You look so hot. I couldn't even imagine it. But I paid so dearly the next 2 days. It took me literally 2 days to recover. So I managed to make it into my 50s without hard liquor. I did my 1 day experiment, and I'll be another 50 before I do that again.
You know what?
So for me, it's beer and wine and champagne and stuff like that, and that's about it. Maybe a margarita. Other than that, no. I think that we should get Roberto to donate
200.
big time to send his buddy Kevin. We need $400 for the round trip ticket, and Nico will pick him up at the airport and let him stay at his place for free and introduce him to all of the bitches that he knows. What is that?
We're drinking.
I've heard that before. Oh no, I know what that is. That's a beer. Yeah, no, I have had that before. Um, where is that from? That's from Amsterdam, isn't it? I'll be happy for Kevin if he makes it over there. It's gonna be great. I think it'll help his channel too. You got to keep working at it and build it up and build, because you know what happens, Kevin. Like you had over 30 people watching today. This is something that builds up. And people they start to expect. Okay, Kevin's going to do a show this day and this day. I know for myself when I did a show like every day, I was always in the 30s, 40s, and so on. But when I would do it sporadically, the numbers went way down. People don't know you're going to do it and so on. Newman.
Yeah. Paul Newman.
Newman from Seinfeld. All right, so I'm going to recap here because we got to get going. I don't think April's going to last much longer.
Richard,
Here's the recap. I was canceled by Fazio. Why? Because I was on Kevin's show and somebody talked shit about him or Daisy May. Of course, I didn't see it. And he said I shared sensitive information, which was a lie. The real reality is he doesn't have the guts to sit down and have a civil conversation with someone who's not, doesn't give a shit about his digger and his race. Okay. That probably never existed. So I was canceled. He
you
never
done.
wants to deal with me again because I went on a show. And if you go on that show, we're going to cancel you because I'm a left wing liberal. Just like all other liberals, they want to control people. And I'm not controllable. I'm not going to let a vlogger control what I say and what I do. Simple as that. Richard Lee Rogers, you've been marvelous being the co-host there, lady. Keep it up. So the feedback has been, oh, that might be true, but the Tangerine Man, he's even worse. Okay, he might be way worse. But see, nobody likes the Tangerine Man. Everybody who pretends to like him is just baiting him. We all know that. But this guy here in Bohol is obsessed with the Tangerine Man. And every move is made to try to deal with the Tangerine Man. So I'm also going to announce one more time that I'm going to hang up here in a minute because we got to get going. Did my best. I was nice to him when I met him. I invited him for dinner and to go to the bar here and do a show. He agreed, and then he wimped out at the last moment. He did the same thing to me in Cebu City. I had 21 or 22 people that were coming to meet him, my harem, and then he pushed out at the last minute. So it's so tiring how tough and bravado, but when you meet them, it's nothing. So I'm not going to disclose any secretive things about Fazio. I'm not going to, and I'm not going to devote my life to hating the guy. But the moves that he's made have been super pathetic, and somebody needs to call it out. Okay, grow up, be a fucking man. Stop being a mangina. Stop being afraid of trolls. Stop breaking your word every second. If you don't like me personally, that's fine. Just say that. But that's not what you said. You did one of the biggest pussy moves in history today, and you should be ashamed of yourself. Grow up, stop acting like a weirdo, and rejoin the human race. For the Tangerine Man, I mean, come on, you guys, a joke. Nobody fucking cares about that. It's
Repeat it.
pitiful beyond belief.
Roberto said, repeat it. What did Fazio do?
What did he do? You can look at my uploads yesterday. I met him. I thought he was sick because everyone was saying that he died or he lost his legs. So we stopped by his place and I did an upload and we stayed with him for about 30 minutes visiting. And I had no intention whatsoever to cause any harm to this man. I invited him the next day. Well, we were going to meet on Sunday to go fly the drone and then go out to have pizza. But then I suggested, why don't we do an interview? Because I got so much positive feedback from my upload on Fazio. I had so many people that say, wow, you really made him, you humanized him. I have a better feeling about him than I've had in years. I heard that on my show that I did yesterday, my live show, from almost everyone who commented. Some people said it was the best upload they've seen in years. So I, dealing with that, I said, okay, why don't we just do a regular interview? You're sitting on one side, I'm sitting on the other, like something like this. Okay? And we're going through your life story. What brought you to the Philippines? Why did you choose the Philippines? What was it like? Just a bio type thing. And then, ask for updates on, whatever he's doing and the drone and how's it going with Daisy May, all that type of stuff. And letting the audience interact with him and letting people see him drinking a beer or so and just being a regular guy, having a conversation. You can't do that. You can't do it. That's why we've never seen him do it. We can't see a video where he's like, oh, you're a monkey and you are, You won't find regular conversation in any videos that are uploaded. It's always some out of control, larger than life type of deal. But I don't operate that way. I deal with people every day of my life in the business world who are 1,000 times tougher than anybody I meet to. And we sit down and have normal conversations. It's part of life. So he wrote me an email saying he's blocked. He doesn't want to ever meet me. He doesn't want to deal with me. I'm bad, and how could you do this to me? I don't want to see you tonight, and I never want to see you again. So I said, okay. Since you doxed me before and threatened to release private communication, I'm going to do a show and let people know why he didn't show up. I had the show set already. I'll be doing an interview with Michael Fazio. So I'm going to let people know the truth. I'm not going to tell his secret information, but I'm going to tell the truth about why he didn't show up for the interview, just like I hid it before why he didn't show up for the time he was supposed to go with us dancing. See, he can't show a video of dancing or singing or meeting people in a normal fashion. It's always got to be some over the top bunch of bullshit. He backed out. But the reason he backed out started out with he backed out because I revealed sensitive information. Go back to the Kevin show and listen to what I was on early in the show. I didn't leak anything. It was all positive and I was all very upbeat and positive. Later on, he sent a follow-up email saying that it was because there was trolls there. What would I do if people trolls had said shit about April? Well, I've had that happen a million times, Fazio. I think I'm gonna lose a bit of sleep. She's the best fucking girl that you'll ever see in this country. She's the most educated and the most cool, upbeat. Everyone loves April. I've never met anyone that knows her or met her that didn't love her the minute they got to know her. I'm so fortunate to have her as my wife. I mean, I don't deserve it. And I've had people like Heidel and others talk shit about her. Do you think it's going to make me get all bent out of shape and lose sleep because you said something against a person who is the coolest person in this country? I know she's the coolest person in this country. I know what other people say about her. I know what she was like when she was still working. I know what kind of mother she is. Some idiot that says, "Oh, April, you fucking whore," or whatever. I don't care because they don't know her. How pathetic is the man that says something like that about a woman? 100%. And you can ask April herself. Because I think Roberto, I mean, Filipino thing. What was it like when we went there? Was it friendly?
Yeah, he was another way,
Why did we go there in the first place?
because we were like concerned because of what we heard about, say that he's dead or like he's amputated. We actually was so concerned. But then I myself I said like, why don't we like? He said like, yeah, do agree when he said like, what do you think? I said like, yeah, I think it's so sad if Michael Fazio like we're so concerned. Like, what happened? What if he's bedridden? No one sees him. So like, yeah, yeah, no.
It was actually your idea. And no, it wasn't. At first I said no because
Yeah, I said.
I didn't want him to think someone was just jumping up on him like that. Like something. And then I thought about it for about, while we were taking the boat over here, I thought, we really should check because if he's hurt or if he died, somebody needs to know about it. But actually, you were actually the one who first said we should go.
Yes, I really want to meet him. I told you, I really want to meet him, Fazio, and even Frank and Gilda. All of you, actually. I really want to meet all these um, trolls. They said trolls or these.
Well, those aren't trolls. Those
No, no,
are
I know. Like Barry, I saw Barry before. But then I really want to see them. But then when I heard about it, I said like I want to know what happened to him because he's gone. And then like, it's so sad if Michael Fazio really did something, was hurt or anything like that. I don't want to. I myself don't want to see that because human being, we always have concern to other people, right? So that's it. It's, it's bad that he did what he did, but that's what he's doing.
Well, this is what paranoia brings. When you're a complete shut-in, isolated from the world, and the only people that you have are knuckleheads like Warren H. that are your friends, and you get paranoid and you think everyone's out to get you. This is what happens. But I would never go out to get anybody.
Yeah.
I'm more. Um, I'm just too involved with life to worry. I want to remind everyone as well. I've lived in the Philippines off and on for 10 years of my life, and 8 years straight at this juncture, and I've never had even one tiny disagreement with a male Filipino, and I know tons of them. I've never had any bullshit, not even a slight disagreement with anybody since I've lived here. Somehow I managed to function without calling every guard stone stupid, without calling everybody. I mean, So between that and the business world, somehow I'm able to function, plus being in a happy marriage. And those who didn't like me were usually some of the most fucked up people that ever lived. Now, I mean, we know who they are: Dipshit Travels and a couple of other ones. But why didn't he like me? He didn't like me because he couldn't control me. And at the end of the day, this is all about controlling people, trying to get them to do what they want me to do.
What would
And,
you actually
and I'm
do?
not going to follow a bunch of fucking vloggers. I mean, I don't respect it enough to follow it. So that's the story in a nutshell. I'm not going to talk about this again after today, but if Fazio decides to go on and distort the record and start to do what he threatened before, doxing, I'm going to dox too. I have a fucking mountain of information.
I hope he will do.
I
I
hope he
mean,
just lets it go.
yeah, I
Swallow your
hope.
pride, let it go, and change. I did, that change isn't going to come through me, because I'm washing my hands of it right now. But I hope that you stop acting like a weird, fucking oddball knucklehead. Just learn how to treat people the right way, and learn how not to be paranoid. Okay, you're an eccentric knucklehead whack job. That's how you come across by doing what you did today. I'm still gonna hope that you can turn that around in your life. Stop lying to people, bullshitting people, pretending that you're something that you're not. Learn how to just be a regular guy that can hang out with other men and learn how to have conversations with people. That's my heartfelt advice for you. But I'm not going to walk through life fucking slapping you down or anything. It's a one-time deal. Unless you do it too. Every time you do it, I'm coming right back on, and I'm going to go bananas the next time it happens. This is the first and last time, I hope.
Both, I guess. Growth and his
He
reputation.
is worried about the reputation, about people talking shit about him and Daisy May. But on the Daisy May front, why would somebody talk shit about Daisy May? Let's say somebody's talking shit about her. The guy that's saying it looks like a fool. I mean, whoever's saying it. I don't ever see anybody saying it, but you know, worried about your reputation, worried about this, that, and the other. You should be worried about being a shut-in and being an oddball. You should focus on a quality of life that's sorely lacking. Quality of life is not measured in how much money you have in your bank. It's measured by the relationships that you have. And when someone is as controlling as you are,
Puno ko ayos na.
and as paranoid as you are, no one's going to be your friend in real life. Yes, some very lonely, desperate men online will be your life, but in real life, real men that actually have some success in their life, you're not going to hang out with someone that acts that way. That's why we've never seen a video in all these years with you, with just chilling out with dudes, man, having a conversation. I haven't ever seen it. Now I know why. So the other announcement, I'm going to Malbual and I'm going to Bentayan, and I give the challenge out to both Barry and to Frank. Come down and meet, man. Let's have a conversation. And I'll go talk to Cliff. Everyone says talk to Cliff. I don't know if that story's true. I think it's probably lies. Barry's never been bad to me. He's never said anything, so I don't have anything against Barry. But everyone's challenging me. Fine, I'll go down there myself and see for myself. So listen to gossip.
And the skydiving in
And then
Bantayan.
we'll go to Manti, and April wants to do skydiving. I'll call out Mr. Tangerine Man. Come down and hang out. Let's have an interview. Will he show up and do that?
Nah, I
Probably
don't.
not, but we'll see.
Can we knock on his door? Charot.
I'll go by his house. I'll stand there. If he doesn't want to come out and answer, it's up to him. But I have no ill intent to him either. I'm not going to. I mean, you got to realize at some point we're in our 50s, they're in their 60s. Guys aren't getting into brawls at this age. It's not happening. I'd like Frank to show up at a bar like this, have a few beers, and then talk to him about all those issues and have him on a live stream. Not do some puff piece like happened with him and Dipshit Travels, but actually a real conversation. Okay, you said don't talk about my woman. He talked about my woman. He did this to my woman. But you, Tangerine Man, have bashed everyone's woman. And there's videos to prove it. What's the difference? I would love to actually, in a nice way, hold his, not hold his feet to the fire, but question him about why he's such a fucking hypocrite. Uh, I agree, man. I mean, I don't want to get violent with people. I'm like Michael Jackson at this stage. I'm a lover, not a fighter. I was a fighter when I was younger. I was still fighting, getting in fights in my late 30s, but I have no interest in. I mean, I don't want to hurt anybody. I don't want to have to put this massive fucking fist in someone's face.
Want some coffee? You want some coffee?
I know what you're talking about. I'm not going to say. But I'm going to go to Ben Tyan. I'm going to go, and you can let all those people know. I'm not there to hurt them. Like especially Barry. Well, Barry's never done anything to me. But I'll talk to him. I want to talk to him like a fucking human being. And put the camera there. Say, Barry, they said that you burned this person or you owe this person. I don't owe Cliff anything. Okay, let's go talk to Cliff. Let's see what he says. Let's get it out there in the open. Because frankly, I don't know what the truth is on any of this stuff. Now, even if it's true that he owes Cliff, it's still none of my business. Do I go after everyone who's in debt in America? There's a lot of Americans that are in debt. Like, we have an epidemic of debt in America. Do I go to the neighbor that I know owes, money at the furniture store? You owe them money and I want you. I mean, come on. Who does that? These people are a bunch of gossipy little women. I want to do it isn't fucking. I don't notice it when I'm just sitting here, but if I see it on video, I go, that is the scariest looking fucking fingers and fists I've ever seen. You don't feel it when it's just you looking at your hands, though. You have to see it on video. So let YouTube know, everybody. I'm going to Mount Wall. I'm going to Ben Tyan. And I'm going to be knocking on their door. And I'm going to be streaming it. Let's see who can come out and have a civilized conversation. And then as soon as I'm done Ben Tyan, I'm back on the road to the Netherlands and Norway, Sweden, Switzerland, Germany, and I won't have a lot of time for this sort of thing. But while I have a few more weeks, I'm gonna maximize it by talking to all the YouTube types. So. I know you do too, Kevin. I wouldn't want to fight you, but I'd still kick your ass. But I like you, so I'm not going to do that. In Canada, they believe. Well, I'll tell you on the debt front, I have a company credit card, I use for travel, but I don't have a personal credit card. I've had more money. Once I cut my credit cards up in 2008, I think it was, I had never saved money in my whole life. I might have had 40,000 in the bank, but I never had big money in the bank. Once I cut those credit cards up back then and stopped I never borrowed money from anybody. Never had debt of any kind. My money in the bank and in investments skyrocketed. It's amazing that if you say, okay, I want a new big screen TV or something, let's just, or a new computer, if you got to go down to the ATM machine, pull the money out, pay for it, you don't do it. But if it's credit card, you say, okay, well, okay, I'll get it. It's an extra $50 of money out. And you start shifting stuff around. Oh, that's the worst trap you could ever imagine. Once I got rid of that, and back then in 2008, my life changed, massively changed. That was the single best decision I've ever made. That and buying Apple stock in the 1990s. About Apple, Coca. I own six stocks and two houses. So I had, I was able to pull out a certain amount of percentage of my income back in the 90s. And I was such a fan of Apple. I started using Apple in 1981. And the minute I heard the rumors of Steve Jobs coming back, I went down and started buying Apple stock. And I remember buying $5,000 of Apple stock early on, and I kept buying it out. Every time I got paid. Oh, I think I had more than one 7-to-1 stock splits on that, and you know. But even with all that said, I had credit cards. I mean, doing one credit card, doing another one, and oh my gosh, I had them calling every second. It was unbelievable. And I stopped doing the credit cards. I kept buying the stocks and then real estate, the two houses. And all of a sudden, I one of my goals was I want to have a year and a half of my income in savings. So I was able to get to that. Then I said I want to buy this or that or the other. And I kept investing that money, and I was able to ramp that up drastically once I stopped doing credit cards. So credit cards is just you're borrowing money and then you're paying a huge interest rate. So being in debt is not a good thing. Now, if Barry went and rung up debt with a store owner, I can't imagine owing a Filipino store 16,000 pesos. I can't imagine a Philippine store extending even 1 peso of credit to someone that looks like they can't repay it. I have never I've never borrowed money from anybody since I cut up those cards. But I mean, you guys have all been here, every one of you listening. Can you even fathom? I mean, is it even fathomable that you say, "Hey, put it on my tab, put it on my tab, put it on my tab," and it rings up to 16K in pesos? If if that guy gave Barry 16K and let him get debt like that, he deserves to lose it. He needs to learn that just because you're a white guy in the Philippines doesn't mean you have money. And for you to give money to a guy, I mean, and for it to happen over and over and over and over, and and no one goes to the barangay hall, I could take someone to the barangay hall right now. Someone owes me 1,000 pesos. I can go have a meeting at the barangay within 2 or 3 days. I myself have done things like this. I'm just about to get off, Jack. Oh, get off. It's kind of connotations there. But that's why I don't automatically believe all the stories about Barry. I also remember when uh, Babes went on someone's show saying, Barry did this, Barry did that, Barry did this, Barry did that. I saw the screenshots of the conversations that that woman was having with another Filipina, saying how she was so in love with Barry and was just doing all this to try to trap him and make him come back and stay with her. I hate to break the news to you, but women lie a lot. They want to trap men. They want to bullshit and lie to them. So I don't think he was fucking burning her with a cigarette. I mean, this is absurd. If he was doing it, Why didn't she run to the barangay hall? Believe me, this barangay thing, criticize Philippines all you want, but if you walk into that hall and file a complaint, they're going to go resolve that sucker in about 24 hours. I've been involved in this. Not involved in it like, but I had, for debt collection and for, uh, um, remember with Claire, we went to the, okay. But then also, we had one where the two girls were fighting, and the one kept beating up the other girl. We brought the girl to the barangay hall, the one that was beaten up. That they had a hearing and a trial within a matter of I think it was 24 hours or maybe 48 hours at the most. And they told the one if she ran away, she'd be guilty to be sent up for felony charges. They won't, Roberto. They're never going to let up, especially someone that looks like him. That's why I want to go and actually go down there and get the real story, just like I did here in Bull. Fazio's dead. Fazio's emaciated, not emaciated, but incapacitated. Okay, we'll drive by. We'll go over there and check it out. And found out that he wasn't incapacitated. Okay, so all the rumoring that we heard from the little tangerine man who did two shows that day about how Fazio was dead or he lost his leg. Guess what? They were false, weren't they? They were false rumors. How do I know any rumor about Barry Jordan is true? I don't know that. Is he missing a Jack Thompson? Because I have a feeling he's still out there. Now, if I walk down there, if I go to Mount Wall and say, okay, Cliff, what is the deal? Is Barry Odie? No one ever shows these people. No one ever shows evidence against him. Also, when it comes to his immigration status, no one's seen his passport. I don't know. Barry made a visa run. I have no idea, and I don't even care because it's not my business. If the Philippines wants to let him stay illegally, that's up to them. Everybody knows who he is. I just don't think he rises to the level of importance. I don't think the Philippines is worried about YouTubers bitching. But the thing about him owing 7 or 8 different Starry stores, 4 to 16,000. That's not the Philippines I know. I walked in and told them, "Can you give me credit for 1,000?" They'd probably laugh me right out of the damn store. They'd probably say, "You pay, you pay." So would I. But see, that's the thing, Jack. You are a real man, and you're a stand-up man. You're not a guy that's trying to be something that you're not. So I respect you tremendously. Even when people are saying shit like dipshit travels, I always take your side because you've always been a stand-up guy. Dipshit travels is just intimidated by a man like you. He wouldn't dare face you. Well, anyway, guys, I really got to run. Think about those things. Spread the word that I'm going to be going to Bedtime and Malboal to try to bring some closure to all these controversies. And we'll see if the Tangerine Man wants to get up in my face, call me the big ostrich. I'm just joking, or Tangerine. But seriously, I would like to sit down with you and have an interview with you and see if you can answer a lot of these questions that everybody wants to know. Instead of having a puff job like you did with Dipshit Travels. Okay, well, just remember, I'm a broke ass Loser. And so this broke ass loser wants to say, in honor of Popeye, this segment of the Biggie Round Earth Show was brought to you by San Miguel Beer. Beer not beer. The official beer of Dipshit Travels. Mwah. Bye, everybody.